Traffic was already sluggish back at Highway 92, so the quicker you use 41 out of Ackworth, the better. You stay on the brakes through Marietta, trying to push your way past the South Loop and Delk Road 575 South. Very, very heavy, very crowded, getting out of Woodstock. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76. That's trending about 15 degrees above average. Lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. But change is on the way in the form of a cold front on Thursday. Cloudy skies, high 68. A slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Cooling down on Friday, morning low 42. Afternoon high 64.
51 degrees right now in Marietta, 54 in Monroe, 47 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Confirm for me, fellow baseball fan Judd Hickenbotham. There is a old cliche in baseball. We're talking about the length of the season, 162 games, that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely.
Right? You hear that every year. Hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Man, this second Trump presidency is both a marathon and a sprint. It's like a sprinting marathon. There is so much news to cover every day. I am wiped out. I want to be like that. Who was that woman at the Boston Marathon that cheated and like came in at the last mile?
Oh, I forgot her name. Yeah.
I want to be that lady. Like, let me get in the third year of the Trump presidency and pretend I've been covering it. There's just so much news to talk about. We've got so much stacked up for you today to get you informed on what's going on. Everything's so fast moving. 11 a.m., President Trump's first cabinet meeting of his second term is at 11 a.m. today. Not only are we going to preview that, but once it starts, we're going to dip into it live, give you coverage there. The White House press corps rules have just changed pretty dramatically. Stephen Portnoy, who used to head up the White House Press Corps Association, is going to join us and discuss those rules and how it might impact you and me. And a lot of stuff to talk about DOGE, too. Maybe some clarification on those DOGE federal emails. But kicking off the show, covering some breaking news from the overnight is ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, good morning, my friend. Thank you so much. I want to start with this news developed that overnight that there might be a possible mineral deal about to be agreed to by President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. What do we know this morning?
The White House is not confirming that a deal has been reached or even a framework of a deal, but a senior Ukrainian official tells us that both countries are there, that they're at a framework of a deal for Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Details are still, to be announced, but reports that it could be a joint ownership of a fund where Ukraine would contribute half of their proceeds from state-owned resources. The U.S. would have access to Ukraine's minerals, partial access to Ukraine's minerals, oil, and gas. And this is a different way of doing things, very different from the Biden administration, where Donald Trump has now said that, Ukraine has to repay the U.S. because of all that the U.S. has given over the last 3 years to support their war effort and also support their government and humanitarian aid, essentially saying that now there has to be access to natural resources so that there can be a repayment for all of that money that has gone overseas over the last 3 years.
If this comes to fruition, that could be quite a paradigm shift between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. I can imagine that Ukraine's going to want some sort of security guarantee in exchange for this mineral deal, and I can't imagine Vladimir Putin would like that.
Yeah, and Zelensky has been very hesitant to agree to something if there was no promise of security guarantees. And the president was asked about that yesterday. Would you provide military support for Ukraine in the future? And he said, you mean like security? The reporter said yes, and he said, well, people are going to do it. I think Europe will largely be responsible for that. European countries will be responsible. So we will see what these details look like. But that is, of course, something the Ukrainians are pushing for.
Obviously still a developing story, but I would assume that President Zelensky would come to the White House to finalize this agreement.
That's the expectation, that the president would come over potentially as early as Friday. The President Trump is meeting with British Prime Minister tomorrow at the White House. So, pretty packed day already there with another foreign leader. But I think, potentially this could be as soon as Friday.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Are we getting any clarity in regard to the now famous Doge Musk email sent out to federal workers? Any clarity from the White House on what the repercussions that federal employees might face if they did not reply to that email?
The White House will say that this is all very clear, that it's not difficult to respond to 5 bullet points. That is not confusing. Just do it. Why is this so hard? The questions that we've been asking, though, is that there's just been mixed messages coming from the administration, from different departments, heads, and what we're seeing on social media from Elon Musk, who is, of course, the center of all of this and has significant heavy weight behind his authority here given to him by the president. Yesterday, the White House said that the president defers to his cabinet secretaries on the guidance related to their specific workforce. Well, of course, we've seen some departments say you don't have to respond. It's voluntary, or don't respond because of the confidential or classified work that we do at these departments and agencies. But then you still have Elon Musk saying there will be a second email that would go out, and that's your second chance, and then you still risk getting fired if you don't respond to this. The president was asked yesterday if Musk was speaking for him when he says you'll be terminated, and the president said everybody speaks for me. I'm the one. I'll take responsibility. The old statement, the buck stops here. So that didn't exactly clear up who ultimately is the top authority on this exact question.
Still a cloudy picture. Final question, Karen. Any predictions on where Musk will be situated in the cabinet meeting? Sitting, standing? Any insight?
I would bet sitting. I think the question will be, where is he sitting?
Yeah.
Across from the president? Next to the president? Those seating charts are very, very tailed, and I'm sure somebody is scrambling to figure that out this morning in the West Wing.
Karen Travers, ABC News. As always, thanks for your time, Karen.
Thank you. Have a great day.
There's got to be one of those betting sites where you can bet on where Musk will be sitting during the cabinet meeting. Will he be next to President Trump, across from President Trump? I think it's a round table, if memory serves. So there's no real head of the table, I don't think. I'll double check and fact check that. But again, the first cabinet meeting of the second Trump presidency set to kick off at 11 a.m. today. We're going to preview that for you. And as soon as it starts during the show here, we'll dip in live and listen to the audio. A lot of stuff to talk about in that first cabinet meeting. I think it's huge what Karen was just talking about, that so quickly President Trump seems to have come to terms with a rare earth minerals deal with President Zelensky of Ukraine. If this gets completed, it can completely change what's going on right now in the Russia-Ukraine war. I'll explain what I think this means to the Russia-Ukraine war if this deal gets done. And what do they think in Ukraine? This has got to be being cheered right now in Kyiv. We'll check in with Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv. That's coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
Morning rush hour.
Jam-packed bumper to bumper.
Evening rush hour.
All lanes are shut down.
And everything in between.
Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Slow beginning at Piedmont Avenue, 75 South Slow.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing, and I'm thrilled to hear the FGA Roofing is Tim Andrews' roofer.
My FGA roofing story is very simple. We needed repairs to our roof. And I said, hey, I'm going to call Scott Slade's roofer. FGA Roofing came out, and within 15 to 20 minutes, they had everything identified that needed to be done, and they came back about a week later and knocked it out very quickly.
Quality work is what you get with FGA Roofing. Whether you're going for repairs or if you're ready for your home's exterior for a real upgrade, the architectural shingles, the designer roofs, I mean, these are real envy points with your neighbors. They'll be stopping you on the street going, hey, who did that?
Hey, you know what? After the repair, one of the neighbors down the street, who I never even met before, came up and said, who did that? So when I am in the market for a new roof, I know who I'm going to call. FGA Roofing.
Absolutely. You know, designer roofs catching your eye, this is where you need to go. Slate, tile, wood shake, and for a limited time, FGA Roofing is offering $1,000 off your final quote if you mention Scott Slade or Tim Andrews.
That's awesome.
Just search FGA Roofing.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
It's no surprise that Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electric continues to grow, and they're looking for good, caring people to join them. If you've got experience as a plumber, electrician, or are an HVAC tech, give them a call and be part of a great team. Be proud to bring your expertise, knowledge, and patience to homes all across Atlanta, like mine. Ragsdale's experts have been taking care of my home for years. Employees stay with Ragsdale 10, 20, even 30 years. Go to ragsdaleair.com/careers and apply today.
9:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Checking delays on I-75 live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, we've had a crash getting into Kennesaw, 75 southbound before Chastain Road exit 271 involving a tractor trailer trying to move that to the shoulder. Slow all the way back to Highway 92 and a crash in the HOT lane 85 southbound right at I-985, backing things up through Buford. The support is brought by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. It's a very big deal. It could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things.
Money aside, it is a huge deal if true. President Trump, he was referring to is Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, the president there, maybe hinting that Zelensky is going to come to D.C. on Friday and signed this rare earth minerals agreement with the United States, which just would totally upend what's been going on with the Russia-Ukraine war. I mean, potentially a massive, massive story. By the way, Rosie Ruiz was the lady who cheated in the Boston Marathon. Thanks to Judd Hickenbotham for checking that out. A big win, by the way, for President Trump and Speaker Johnson when it comes to the budget in the House of Congress yesterday. We'll go in depth on that. But I want to be hyper-focused on this possible rare earths mineral deal that could be signed by President Zelensky and President Trump this Friday at the White House. I would imagine that folks in Ukraine very happy. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv this morning.
Once again, Ukraine's fate is going to rest on a meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump, really about how well these two men get along. The rare earth minerals deal seems to be in a very final stage, with Ukrainian officials suggesting that both sides have indeed agreed to final terms that are acceptable to both of them. That's not something we've had openly confirmed by the White House, but when asked about this, President Trump said that he was willing to meet Zelensky, as he'd suggested he would a matter of days earlier, and that Zelensky wanted to sign that particular deal. And he called it a big deal, a very big deal. So positive indications too, but frankly, the volatile nature of all of this means that until those names are written on a piece of paper, it's going to be hard to know exactly what the final outcome is. The deal, as we understand it, does not contain security guarantees for Ukraine. Some of the language Ukrainian officials said was more in favor of Ukraine's security, but at the same time too, in Ukraine's favor, it doesn't contain some of the more onerous things the Trump administration wanted to see written down in paper. Some of those harder discussions about Ukraine's natural resources will likely be left to later deals, later, uglier, harder talks. But really, it is still down to whether these two men are able to get along after an exceptionally acrimonious week that they went through. Remarkable that French President Emmanuel Macron was able to get this meeting through and bring Trump back more towards the European viewpoint as to Ukraine's defense. But a very vital meeting on Friday in the White House. Not 1,000% guaranteed that it indeed will all happen as planned. So much has changed, but certainly a more positive slant for Ukraine in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, indeed. Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv this morning. So, I mean, this is such an about face. You know, if you go, and again, Nick made a good point there. Nothing's guaranteed yet until pen is paper, is put to paper, and this is agreed. You know, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Chickens, eggs. You know, let's see it happen. But what a sight it would be for President Trump to hosting Zelensky in the Oval Office, signing this rare earth mineral deal. Now, I don't know what what will be inside this deal, what the U.S. gets, what Ukraine gets. I don't know, and at this point, it doesn't really matter. Whatever President Trump thinks is a fair deal, it's a fair deal. But I will say this. If this comes to fruition, there's no way that Vladimir Putin did not flip over many marbled tables in the Kremlin yesterday. This is not good for him. He thought, oh, I've got Trump in my pocket. I'm fine. This is going to be great. If this rare earth mineral deals is signed and there are security guarantees, now, whether or not U.S. troops are part of these peacekeeping forces or not, but if they get security guarantees and assurances from the United States, Putin is going to blow his top. That's the last thing he wanted. And I said this when President Trump floated this whole idea of rare earth minerals. If we, meaning the United States, has a vested interest in the peace, prosperity, and long-term future of Ukraine, that's horrible news for the Kremlin. Horrible news for Putin. Like, if this is a $1 trillion rare earth mineral deal that the U.S. will sign with Ukraine, President Trump is not going to let Putin come in and take half of eastern Ukraine. We have a vested interest now. Oh, my God, to be a fly on the wall at the Kremlin right now. If this, again, it hasn't happened yet. If it does happen, though, Putin is going to blow his top. Unless this is ninth degree chess and, you know, Putin's 9 steps ahead of everybody. But this is great news for Ukraine. A huge win for President Trump if it comes to fruition, gets us repaid from the money we've given to Ukraine, and gets us profit sharing with Ukraine and the rare earth minerals going forward, and neutralizes what Russia wants to do. Because make no mistake, Putin at the end of the day wants to rebuild the USSR. He wants to bring that would be his legacy. You know, the USSR was blown up at the end of the Cold War. Putin wants his legacy to be, I brought it all back under the umbrella again. That's what he wants to do. This is, again, not finalized yet, but absolute game changer. Any new developments on that, we will bring it to you live here on WSB Radio. But again, all eyes focused on the White House this Friday to see if this happens. Oh, and tomorrow, by the way, the Prime Minister of the UK is going to be at the White House. I'm telling you, it's a marathon and a sprint. I'm sprinting a 26-mile marathon right now. So much news to cover in the Trump administration. This has something to do with the Trump administration. Deborah sent me this story today about a proposal to ban food stamps, EBT, whatever they're called in the nomenclature now, to illegal aliens. First off, I didn't know illegals were eligible for food stamps. Is that so, Deborah? And what can you tell us about this story?
So food stamps, or SNAP is what they're called now, technically anybody illegal is not eligible to receive food stamps, but there's all kinds of ways to get around things. Now, I believe the WIC program, you can still get food stamps, but the administration is trying to make it so nobody without legal status is allowed to receive food stamps. They're going to change whatever they need to change to make it impossible for anybody that's not here legally to get any assistance. Interesting.
All right, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't know what the WIC, EBT, I don't know what the protocol is, but I was under the assumption you have to show like proof of citizenship, tax statements to show that. I remember when I was in college, a bunch of kids tried to get on food stamps, like because they were food insecure and they were broke, so they went to apply for food stamps, and these were 19, 20-year-old kids, and the government worker was like, no, your parents still claim you as a dependent, and your dad makes $70,000 a year. You're not eligible for food stamps. Get out of here. So in order for, this was 30 years ago. In order to get the food stamp benefits, then you had to show proof of residency, and more importantly, you couldn't be claimed as a dependent on your parents. And so the kids went to their parents like, hey, don't deduct me from your tax. Get me off your taxes so I can get food stamps. And they said, get out of here, kid. You're crazy. Interesting. I don't know what there should be agreement, though. I would think if you are not here legally, you shouldn't be eligible. I think that's pretty common. That's common sense, right? I don't know if there's a workaround that they've been getting around it, but why should you be eligible for food? Not that I don't feel for people that are food insecure and need to feed their kids, right? But I don't think they should be eligible to get taxpayer-funded food stamps for that. Listen, I know there are children of illegal aliens in our school system right now, and they get free lunches and breakfast, and I'm okay with that. Like, if the kids are here, they didn't do anything, and they get free or reduced breakfast and lunch. Sometimes that's the only meal they get. But, I'm on board with that. I don't think it's a thing unless people are gaming the system, but illegal aliens not being eligible for WIC, EBT, food stamps, green stamps. Are they eligible for the Trump Gold Card? That's just popped up in the green stamps. That just popped up in the news, the Trump Gold Card. We'll talk about that in a little bit. News, weather, and traffic straight ahead. When we come back, President Trump's first cabinet meeting of his second term. What can we expect to see and hear? White House correspondent John Decker joins us next on The Mark Arum Show.
Don't get fooled by window fiction.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Now they're calling it vinyl composite, but no matter how they say it, vinyl windows are still bulky, cheap, and plastic.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows.
Experience the fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom. 0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs loans that can save you thousands if you qualify. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour, the GBI has the investigation this morning following an overnight SWAT standoff that ends with an officer-involved shooting in Clayton County. Happened along Terra Boulevard after the suspect refused to follow commands to exit a home.
He refused to come out, so a SWAT call was started, and when the SWAT team entered into the residence, exchange of gunfire occurred.
Clayton County Lieutenant Ricky Porter tells Channel 2 Action News the officer was wounded in the leg, is expected to recover. That suspect, though, in critical condition. That person also suspected in another nearby shooting along Arrowhead Boulevard. So far, no word on that other shooting victim. It is 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says the temperature today will get into the mid-70s. Plenty of sunshine as the spring-like weather continues. Get a bit of a change tomorrow, though. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Paulding County ramps up its crime-fighting efforts with an emphasis on gang violence.
The Paulding County Sheriff's Department's new gang unit is small now, but Sheriff Ashley Henson says it's already helped them. The department recently made an arrest of a suspected gang member and recovered stolen guns following a rash of car break-ins.
We're not going to stick our heads in the sand with this. We're going to combat this head on, and we're going to try to rid our county of gangs. Every single county in the state of Georgia, and probably every single county in the United States, has a gang problem.
The department has also added cold case and intelligence units. They hope to set up a real-time crime center soon. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
President Trump holding the first cabinet meeting of his second term later today. It will include Doge head Elon Musk, who is not a congressionally approved member. Meanwhile, more deep cuts to the federal workforce appear to be on the horizon.
CBS News has confirmed that the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of Personnel Management are set to issue a memo telling federal agencies to prepare for large-scale layoffs. The memo is expected to ask agencies to submit reorganization plans by mid-March.
Correspondent Carissa Lawson says it comes as other mass layoffs continue, including more than 5,000 probationary civilian workers and 2,000 employees with a USAID. The Atlanta-based CDC admits this season's flu vaccine has been a bad match, or no match at all, really, for the current dominant strain.
In about half the cases the CDC is tracking with the H3N2 strain of the virus, the vaccine did not work. They say the H3N2 strain typically has a worse impact on older adults with more hospitalizations.
Correspondent Matt Piper says almost 1 million flu patients have wound up in the hospital so far this flu season, making it one of the worst seasons in almost a decade. Well, if you have a Google email account, and there are some security changes coming. It's all to help stop scammers.
Google says it's changing the authentication method on its email service, replacing text message codes with passkeys or those QR codes.
Michelle Franzen reports Google says the switch was prompted by problems with scammers using SMS technology to spoof user accounts. It is 9:33 as we check your money. Mixed bag once again on Wall Street this morning. Dow is down slightly. S&P is up about 12 points. NASDAQ is up more than 70 points so far. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center, and Mike Shields.
And Judd, looks like a crash still working in Sandy Springs, 285 eastbound the Interloop right at Georgia 400. That's GMD back to I-75 in Cobb County. Things improving on 75 southbound, making your way between Ackworth and Kennesaw with the crash now on the right shoulder before Chastain Road. And a crash still active in Buford, trying to make your way into Swanee on I-85 southbound at I-985. That remains in the HOT lane. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today and warm, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. Tomorrow, a cold front moves through with cloudy skies, but a slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Daytime high 68, cooling down to the low 40s on Friday morning. Daytime high 64.
It is currently 56 degrees in Villa Rica, 56 in Gainesville, 53 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
Your baby is ugly.
Eric Von Hessler has an opinion.
I abhor violence. Unless it's on the football field, where it belongs.
And some advice.
A meme coin, of course, something I don't really understand. Don't ever buy one. There you go. I just gave you some great advice.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
This is the first important step in opening up the reconciliation process. We have a lot of
huge
hard work ahead of
budget
us,
win
but we are
yesterday
going to
for
deliver
Speaker
the
Johnson and President Trump. Speaking of President Trump, his first cabinet meeting of his second term set to begin at 11 a.m. We'll preview that next on the Mark Arum Show.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Mom and Dad seemed different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 35% off. Plus, kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
I was sitting on the couch in my living room during the recent Arctic blast, and I was freezing. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Window draft, unacceptable. I started to freak out, and then I remembered, hey, Dr. Roof does windows and siding. They've been doing it for over 25 years, and I can buy now and pay later. Yes, I can get my windows fixed by the best in the biz at Dr. Roof, and I can buy now and pay later. If you have window issues, roofing issues, call or go online for an appointment right now. Dr. Roof, for all your roofing, siding, and window needs.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Ukraine, I will say, they're very brave and they're good soldiers, but without the United States and its money and its military equipment, this war would have been over in a very short period of time.
President Trump last night in the Oval signing more executive orders talking about the Russia-Ukraine war. Again, a massive development overnight. Russia's going to be mad, but apparently the United States and Ukraine, maybe as soon as this Friday in that very Oval Office, will sign a rare earth minerals agreement, which could totally upend what's going on between Russia and Ukraine and hopefully maybe lead to a lasting peace deal. Any new information on that rare earth minerals deal, we'll bring it to you live 24/7 here on 95.5 WSB. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Joining us now on the Mark Arum Show, our buddy and White House correspondent John Decker. John, good morning. The first cabinet meeting of the second Trump presidency set to take place today. Two questions to start off. When, and maybe more importantly, do we know who will be at this cabinet meeting?
It's 11 o'clock this morning Eastern time is when the president will have his very first cabinet meeting. All of his cabinet officials have now been confirmed by the U.S. Senate. some narrowly, some easily. Narrowly, certainly you have to look at Pete Hegseth, who squeaked in because of Vice President J.D. Vance breaking a tie in the U.S. Senate. And then overwhelmingly, Marco Rubio, 98-0 as the new Secretary of State. So those two individuals will be at that meeting in the cabinet room today. And there will also be a non-cabinet officer, someone who is not paid by the federal government in that meeting, and that is Elon Musk, who heads up the Department of Government Efficiency. The president confirming yesterday in the Oval Office that Elon Musk would be there. I was in the Oval Office when the president said that, and it doesn't come as a surprise to me. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. Elon Musk has almost been attached to the hip of President Trump since he's been sworn in as president.
Now, it's not new to have non-cabinet members in the cabinet meeting, right? You have the aides standing behind the cabinet members to give them information if they need. But I can't imagine Elon Musk is going to be standing with the cabinet aides against the wall while the cabinet meeting's going on.
Well, that's a big question, and that's a good question that I don't know the answer to until that cabinet meeting starts. Does Elon Musk, does he have a seat at the table, or is he in the cabinet room standing or sitting in one of the chairs that are set up outside that table? I don't know the answer to that. Typically, you just have cabinet officials around that table, and you have senior advisors, senior aides to the president on the outskirts. But we'll see what happens. Elon Musk has a very important role for Donald Trump in terms of reducing the size of government, making government more efficient, and we'll see ultimately where he has a place in the room today.
Do we have any? I'm trying to think back to the first Trump presidency, what those cabinet meetings were like. I remember a lot of praise going around the table for the president. Then, do we have any expectation of what will be discussed and how the meeting will be run today at 11 a.m.?
Well, the president certainly wants to get an update from all of the cabinet officials in terms of how it is now that they've been sworn in and are ahead of their respective department or agency. But I've been in the cabinet room for these cabinet meetings with President Trump, and the way you described it is accurate. The president goes around the room, and asks each and every one of those individuals to report before the cameras how things are going. And there is plenty of praise for President Trump that is also heaped upon him by each of those officials as they go around the table.
Correspondent John Decker joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Do we expect, in light of the Doge email, the infamous Doge email that was sent out to federal employees, some pushback from cabinet officials like FBI Director Kash Patel? Do you think that will be a topic of conversation on what happened with those emails and what should the protocol be going forward?
I don't know what happens behind those closed doors after the press leaves the cabinet room. So maybe. I don't expect any dissension in that cabinet room. However, when the cameras are on and the mics are turned on, I think it's going to be a unified front that the president and his cabinet will have before the cameras. I'd be shocked, really shocked, if any cabinet official takes issue with anything that Elon Musk has said or done since January 20th when the president was sworn in.
Final question for you, John. White House making changes on who can cover the White House. Do we know what news outlets, if any, will be allowed into the cabinet room before the start?
Yeah, I can tell you of one news outlet that is not typically a part of the pool. The White House has added for today Newsmax, in addition to one of the networks that is part of the pool. So they will be in there. As it relates to any other news outlets or agencies, I haven't seen any additional outlets or agencies added for the pool spray that will happen at 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we'll dip into that live once it begins here on the Mark Arum Show. John Decker, as always, appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks, Mark. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
11 a.m. for that cabinet meeting, first meeting of the second Trump presidency, and we will bring it to you live here on the show. I mentioned to John there about the changes in the White House press corps. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to talk to Stephen Portnoy from ABC. Big upending of how the press is going to be able to get access to this second Trump presidency. Big First Amendment issue here, and I think it's something that's going to impact all of us. Maybe 6-7 years ago, I devoted a whole segment of the show talking about how I never see wigs or toupees on men anymore. When I was growing up, and if you're my age or older, you couldn't go a day without seeing an old guy wearing a toupee. And you knew it because they were ill-fitting, they were not good. And then they've kind of just disappeared. Now, I don't know if the rug technology has gotten better where you can't recognize it, but the other day, it was yesterday, actually. Yesterday, I saw an older gentleman with, obviously, was wearing a hairpiece. And I was like, oh, all right, they're still around. At least that guy's still hanging on. Ironically, Deborah sent me a story today about maybe it was the same gentleman I saw yesterday wearing a hairpiece, but he was wearing a hairpiece. But that's not the big headline of the story. It was what was under the rug on his head. Deborah, take it away.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're not seeing as many wigs because everyone's using your regenerative hair growth stuff. Maybe they're all listening to your commercial, so that could be. But this actually comes out of Colombia, where a man was caught trying to smuggle about $10,000 worth of cocaine under his wig. Now, here's the thing. If you see the picture, the wig literally looks like a hat on top of his hair. Like, it's not hiding anything at all. It literally is placed on top of it. So it's like a couple inches above, and underneath it, you flip it over, and there's just little bags of cocaine everywhere. So obviously TSA, or whatever Colombia calls it, pulls them aside, and they found about 10 grand worth of coke there.
Longoria just stepped away because today's his daughter's 12th birthday. He was kind enough to come in for the first half hour. So I can't ask how much coke is 10,000 worth. He's our official drug czar here on the show. But I imagine it can't be that much if it fits under a dude's toupee.
It's a lot. Go look at the photo. There's a lot under there because they're all in individual little bags too.
There you go. All right. So the greatest wig maker of all time, Maury's Wigs, by the way. If you've ever seen Goodfellas, fantastic character. Yeah, I don't know. We used to see wigs. Or toupees, not wigs. I know wigs are still prevalent with females, but guys wearing toupee, you would see them all the time, and it's rare now that you run into one. Maybe it's the fine folks at Advanced Hair taking care of those hair loss issues, or maybe the wigs are just so good, the toupees are so good, you just don't notice them anymore. All right, thank you, Deborah. All right, when we come back after a quick break, big changes to the White House press corps and access to the president. Stephen Portnoy from ABC breaks it down for us next on The Mark Arum Show.
All the notifications you need.
The story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
Why does it matter that D. Geller & Son is Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler? Because we get first dibs. When diamonds come to Atlanta, they come to D. Geller & Son first. A bunch of diamonds that look the same on paper, but there's about 1 in every 10 that you can see from across the room. So we keep the good one, we pack the rest back up, and they go somewhere else. Usually a big box store that's not quite as picky. That means the same color, same clarity, and same price gets you more brilliance, more sparkle, more bang for your diamond buck at D. Geller & Son. In Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, online at dgeller.com.
Broken tent, magazines, old honey jars. Spring cleaning is a time to get organized. Kick your spring cleaning into gear and save when you choose Scana Energy as your natural gas provider. They have options for every family. Right now, you can even get up to $100 when you sign up. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/100 for details. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you facing a fork in the road and deciding between continuing your career and retirement? I'm Wes Moss, host of Money Matters, and this massive life decision shouldn't be taken lightly. Talk with my team if you'd like help reviewing your retirement accounts and building a financial plan. We can help you review options and offer an opinion based on your best interests. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. to restore your love life in just one visit. Call now, 404-885-8885.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
9:50 on the Mark Arum Show, updating new trouble on I-285, live with the latest. Mike Shields.
Had a crash working in Sandy Springs, Mark 285 eastbound, the loop right at Georgia 400. Still slow, though, as you leave I-75, and crash cleared in Gwinnett, 85 southbound at I-985. This report is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
We got it done. We had the requisite number of votes to move this process along, and now passing the budget resolution in the House, it will go to the Senate.
A very, very happy Speaker Mike Johnson passing the budget blueprint. No one thought he could get it done with the slim majority, but lo and behold, it is done. Now we go to reconciliation, but a big win for Speaker Johnson, and maybe even a bigger win for President Trump, because I don't think any pundit thought that was going to get accomplished that quickly with just a 2-vote majority in the House. But the Speaker and the President do get it done. We're going to talk about the White House press corps in just a second. But again, the big story today is the possible rare earth mineral deals that could be signed this Friday at the White House between President Trump and President Vladimir Zelensky. We're hearing from Zelensky confirming that the United States has given no guarantees on future security, despite the two nations having agreed on a minerals deal that Kyiv describes as preliminary. Zelensky said he hoped that that accord would lead to further deals. Okay, so a little clarification there. Ukrainian president will visit the White House Friday, says his approach to President Trump directly with his concerns.
My question will be very direct: if the United States will stop support or not. Can we buy weapon? If it's not aid, can we buy weapon directly from the United States? Can we work with frozen assets for buying weapon, for example? Then for full investment to a lot of things like minerals.
All right, so interesting. All right, so we had thought that there would be security guarantees in this rare earth mineral deals, which was, I said, would have flipped Vladimir Putin, out of his mind. But Zelensky says that the United States has given no guarantees on future security. He hopes that when he meets with President Trump at the White House on Friday, he will express his concerns about what he needs to make this rare earth mineral deal happen. So obviously a constantly changing story, nothing done until it is agreed upon and on paper, but certainly still a huge story there. We'll see what happens Friday at the White House. All right, speaking of the White House, Stephen Portnoy from ABC News joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Big proposal by the White House yesterday on how the press can cover them. What's the proposal, and why is it so important to me and the listeners?
Well, it's not just a proposal. It's happening. Outlets have now been set aside, outlets offered by, assigned by their colleagues in the press corps to represent the broader whole have been told they can't come in. The first victims of this seem to be today Reuters, the global news service, and Huffington Post, the arguably left-leaning, if fine to say, left-leaning website. They're not allowed, despite the fact that they're part of the rotation that and pool arrangements that have been set up by the WHCA, the White House Correspondents Association, which, in full disclosure, Mark, I led as its president from 2021 to 2022. What we have now is the government deciding for the country who should be standing before the president to ask him questions. And the first example of that will happen later this morning as the president holds his first cabinet meeting with special government employee Musk sitting there. And we'll see, as he is asked questions by this new small contingent of reporters, which will include outlets such as Newsmax and The Blaze, who have been added to this coterie of reporters who will be brought in to witness this first important and historic meeting.
Prior to these changes, what was the standard protocol on who got to cover the president, who got access to the cabinet meetings, the Oval, et cetera?
It's a complicated thing, and I'll do my best to explain it. We don't really do enough in our profession to demystify all this, and so it allows for misinformation and false accusations to be leveled. So let me try to explain it. In an arrangement that dates back, as best we can tell, to Franklin Roosevelt, there are reporters from the main wire services. This would be the Associated Press, Bloomberg, and Reuters, in addition to one of the 5 major television networks in alphabetical order. Those 5 networks are ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC, and Fox. Then you have newspapers ranging from right-leaning outlets such as the New York Post, the Daily Caller, Washington Times, Washington Examiner. They're part of what we call the print pool, which is more than 30 outlets, as well as regional outlets in a rotation, newspapers from places like Long Island and Boston and Los Angeles. They're a part of it, too. And then you have radio networks, such as my ABC network, CBS, which also is on this radio station, and a bunch of other outlets that are part of it. All told, I count more than 60 different news organizations that are already part of the WHCA's existing pool rotations. But never mind that. Set all that aside, and now we're going to have the government deciding who should be covering the President of the United States. It, as in the words of the White House Correspondents Association's current president, Eugene Daniels, tears at the independence of a free press in the United States. It suggests, he writes, the government will choose the journalists who cover the president. In a free country, leaders must not be able to choose their own press corps. And think of the signal it sends, not just in world capitals, but also in state capitals, in Atlanta and other cities across the country, where all of a sudden now this is the new way of doing business. The people who have been elected get to decide who they stand in front of and answer questions from. That's not exactly, I think, the American tradition or what the founders had in mind when they wrote the First Amendment.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC joining us on the Mark Arum Show. I think it was the Obama administration where they tried to bar Fox News from coverage, and we had all the White House correspondents basically band together and get Fox back into the mix.
Let me, Mark, explain. It was rather quaint in retrospect. They put out a Treasury Department official for a round of interviews, and they wanted to grant interviews to 4 of the 5 major networks, not including Fox. And that was an outrage at the time. And we were properly outraged that one of our partner networks would be excluded. But there's a far cry between denying one network an interview and what's happened here.
Sure, but in result, there was solidarity with the rest of the White House corps. Can we see something similar now where the reporters such as yourself and all the outlets, print, TV, radio, band together and say, no, this isn't acceptable. You can't pick and choose who gets to cover this.
I can say that the WHCA has spoken with one voice in its statement. What will happen next, I don't know.
Interesting stuff. Certainly worth following. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Stephen, as always, thanks for your time.
You bet.
I understand that 2025 is an absolutely different media landscape than it was in 1985. And there should be allowances and changes in regard to that, right? So many Americans are getting the news not from the traditional news networks anymore, but from streaming services or websites. So I would be in favor of expanding the number of press outlets that get to cover the president, right? President Trump it was OAN, by the way, a reporter from OAN who asked that first question the other day in the press conference between the French president and President Trump. OAN, sure, give them access. You want some more right-leaning websites, absolutely, but not at the detriment of mainstream media losing. And I know a lot of people are screaming at their radios right now. I want more press availabilities. I want more press to be able to ask questions to the president. I understand some of you despise the mainstream media, but I still think they serve a very important part of the Fourth Estate. Big local story we'll tackle next on The Mark Arum Show.
Got a leaky pipe? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. Heating or cooling issue? We've got a trusted pro for that too. We're not just the helpful hardware folks, we're the helpful home service and repair folks too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, our experts are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Find us at acehardwarehomeservices.com. That's acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter for BeTheYoungerYouATL.com weight loss program. Ladies and gentlemen, this weight loss program works. People always ask me, Shelley, does it really work? I just tell them, look at me. I've lost the weight. I've kept it off. But more importantly than that, what it's done for me, it's knocked off my visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. So I'm even healthier. Not only have I lost weight, but I'm healthier. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. Go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com right now or call 770-415-3000. That's 770-415-3000. Call them now. Schedule a free consultation, and trust me, you will not be upset with yourself. Lose the weight, keep it off, feel better, look better, and be healthier. Go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com right now or call 770-415-3000.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You need to replace all your windows, but some can't wait.
Start small with a single window or one room, and your window price will be locked in. Hi, it's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows.
Our fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows.
Your detailed window and door installation will be quick, clean, and hassle-free.
Window shopping made simple with 0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. This is new at 10 o'clock. A former Customs and Border Protection officer convicted of smuggling cocaine from the U.S. Virgin Islands to right here in Atlanta. Prosecutors say 45-year-old Ivan Van Beverhout used his position as a CBP officer to break the law and smuggle more than 16 kilograms of cocaine into Atlanta from the U.S. Virgin Islands. He's accused of boarding a flight from St. Thomas to Atlanta, carrying the drugs in 2 carry-on bags. To avoid TSA screening, Van Beverhout traveled in his official capacity, even with his loaded patrol-issued firearm. A trained narcotics canine at Hartsfield-Jackson detected the cocaine. He now faces time in federal prison. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB. Another beautiful day on tap, even better than yesterday. Mostly sunny today, highs around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. All right, I actually got one of these text messages the other day. Beware, it's a scam.
People across Metro Atlanta have reported getting the text messages which say you have an unpaid toll, and if you don't click a link to pay, the fees will go up. Dunwoody Police Sergeant Michael Cheek says they've been flooded with questions on social media. He says it's a scam.
Do not click the link. Do not open that up. Do not give your personal information out to any text message, thing like that, asking for your information unless you specifically requested it.
The State Road and Tollway Authority says they will never reach out via text, and you should call customer service before clicking on any links. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
A SWAT standoff is over. An officer and a suspect both suffering gunshot wounds.
The initial call of a person shot sends investigators to a residence on Arrowhead Boulevard in Jonesboro. They then track the suspect to a home nearby on Summer Chase Drive, but say the man refused to surrender, so SWAT units made entry.
As they entered into the home, the gunfire exchange occurred, and the officer was struck, and the suspect was struck as well.
Lieutenant Ricky Porter tells Channel 2 Action News the officer is going to be okay after being hit in the leg. The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times. The GBI has been called in to lead the investigation. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, we've been telling you about measles outbreaks across the country, even cases here in the Metro Atlanta area. The biggest outbreak, though, has been in Texas. Texas. And new this morning, a person hospitalized with measles in West Texas has now died. The first in an outbreak that's infected more than 120 people. Everyone being urged to make sure that your children are vaccinated and that you're up to date on your vaccines. Update on the Pope. The 88-year-old pontiff remains in critical condition this morning with double pneumonia and a lung infection. Pope Francis has been in the hospital in Rome for 13 days now. The decline of Christianity in this country has apparently slowed. Jennifer Kuiper has a look at the new polling.
Polling finds that the Christian share of the population after years of decline has been relatively stable since 2019, and the religiously unaffiliated population, after rising rapidly for decades, has leveled off, at least temporarily. 62% of U.S. adults describe themselves as Christians, 29% are religiously unaffiliated.
And the study shows young adults are far less religious than older adults. And when it comes to the best states to raise a family, Georgia does not rank very well, according to a new Wallet Hub survey. Georgia coming in at number 40 overall out of 50 states. The study considering factors like family fun, health and safety, education, child care, affordability, and socioeconomics. Now, while Georgia scored relatively well in the family fun department, we came in at number 21. We lagged behind in other areas like health and safety, education, and child care, as well as affordability. The best state to raise a family, according to this survey, Massachusetts, followed by Minnesota, then North Dakota. The worst state, New Mexico, followed by Mississippi, and then West Virginia. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 121 points at 43,742. NASDAQ is currently up almost a full percent. The S&P's up more than 0.5%. It's time now to say good morning to smiling Mark McKay. He has a look at the roads.
Good morning, Sabrina. It's been a rough ride trying to get through Cobb County all morning long. The express lanes are still struggling in Marietta. We see on the Jam Cam, a fire rescue dealing with an injury crash in the express lanes, I-75 southbound at Delk Road. 575 has pretty much cleaned up. Don't see the construction northbound just yet. 400 still on the brakes out of Alpharetta, south of Old Milton Parkway to Roswell's Holcomb Bridge Road. 85 is still a struggle leaving Duluth at Highway 316. Take those delays down to I-285. Northside Perimeter, DOT says crash left lane on the inner loop, 285 eastbound past Roswell Road. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76. That's trending about 15 degrees above average. Lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. But change is on the way in the form of a cold front on Thursday. Cloudy skies, high 68. A slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Cooling down on Friday, morning low 42. Afternoon high 64.
56 degrees in Sandy Springs. It's 59 in Monroe. Woodstock has 52 degrees. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Well, almost the whole family. Longo skipped out. We got Vinny Bag of Donuts on the other side of the takeout window. Your boy Blue screens them calls. Coming up in 30... There you go. Slight delay. Coming up in 30 minutes, Allison Keyes from CBS going to give us the lowdown on the budget agreement that was passed last night in Congress. Big win for Speaker Mike Johnson. Big win for President Trump. President Trump's first cabinet meeting is set to take place at 11 a.m. We will cover that live for you here on the Mark Arum Show. Very curious to see where Mr. Musk is sitting or not sitting. As a non-cabinet member, but he will definitely be in the room, so all eyes will be focused on that. I just realized, Deborah, it's I need to bring a change of clothes to work now. So when I walked the dogs this morning, it was like 5 in the morning. I was cold, and I had to put on a jacket, so I dressed up in a flannel shirt. Nice white flannel. You can see it live at the live stream at WSBradio.com. But it's 61 degrees now. It's like yesterday. I need to bring a change of clothes because it's freezing when I come in, and it's hot when I leave.
Isn't that what jackets were invented for?
So I just wear a T-shirt and then put a jacket over it. All right, that makes sense. Good to have you back, the voice of reason, Deborah.
Well, I wear a hoodie all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Deborah. All right, so before we get back to all the big national and international stories, I want to cover a story that I heard this morning on Atlanta's Morning News as I was listening on the WSB radio app while walking the dogs. The headline is, get ready to pay more for water and sewer in DeKalb County.
The 5-2 vote hikes water and sewer rates 10% a year for 10 years. The money going to repair and replace aging pipes and plants. Commissioners for the hike say now's the time.
The longer that we wait, the more expensive it will be.
But others say the plan isn't fair to future commissions.
With 10 years, we'll be committing future leadership to this decision.
Average monthly DeKalb water and sewer bills will now balloon from $70 a month to $180 by 2035.
Yeesh.
Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so this impacts me as now a resident of DeKalb County. Actually, it impacts Maya more than me because she's in charge of the water bill. Our water bill is not $70 a month. But if you're but we're just 2 people and 2 dogs. So a family of 4, your water bill is probably $70 a month. And it will grow, as Steve mentioned there, from $70 a month now to $180 by 2035. Now, that's 10 years down the road. Inflation, who knows what a dollar is going to be. Heck, we might even be using dollars. We could be using Bitcoin or meme coins, whatever. But that's a significant rate hike. Now, if you don't live in DeKalb, you're like, I don't care about this story, Aaron. What do you care? I don't care how much you pay. Listen, how many of these water main breaks with these old 100-year-old pipes have we been covering here on WSB Radio for the last couple of years? City of Atlanta residents especially. This is something. I applaud the DeKalb Commission for getting this done and being proactive on this, because it's not realistic to think when you've got a decrepit, ancient pipe and plumbing system underneath the roads and going to homes that you can just, all right, well, let's just, as soon as they break, we'll fix them. That's an untenable solution to the problem. You can't do it. You have to be proactive. You have to get in there now and take care of business, because it's going to cost a lot more for emergency repair crews to have to come out at 4 a.m. when another pipe bursts than it is now to prepare. So I know that's a big increase, $70 a month now to $180 a month by 2035. I know that's huge, but you have to do it. I applaud DeKalb County for doing that. City of Atlanta residents, you are going to have to be facing the same thing. I know Mayor Dickens gave the State of the City address, highlighting what he's done in his first term. Obviously, he is gearing up for a run at the second term. But that's gonna be top of mind for voters in the City of Atlanta and any of the older neighborhoods around town. Now, if you live in Cumming or Buford or Bremen, I'm just trying to think of the areas that are exploding here. You don't have to worry about this. You have newer pipes for the most part. Those new subdivisions, the new developments up in Alpharetta should be fine. Gainesville, you should be. But if you live in a community that has been here for over 100 years, odds are your pipes are eventually going to fail. They're failing in DeKalb. They're failing in the City of Atlanta. They're going to fail in other older neighborhoods. I know that's a huge rate increase for water. $70 now to $180 by 2035. But I applaud them for being proactive and not just kicking the can down the road. That one lady, forgive me for not knowing her name. I'll play the audio.
With 10 years, we'll be committing future leadership to this decision. I would have preferred a shorter period of time.
Yeah, maybe, but you know what? Your leadership now, and leaders make choices, and I think this is a good choice. I think the City of Atlanta is going to be dealing with something similar very shortly. You can't just use, it's not, what is that, Flex Seal? What was that late night infomercial?
Yeah.
Flex Seal, right?
Flex Seal.
Did that guy
I have
die?
that.
Did he die, the Flex Seal guy? If he did, I am sorry.
No, there's more products now.
Okay. Like you can't just say, all right, we're just going to Flex Seal our 100-year-old wooden pipes underneath Juniper Street. And no, you can't do it. It's untenable. So it needed to be done. It's going to be done. Thoughts and prayers to my wife for paying the water bill. Knowing that she pays the water bill, I take really long showers. Oh, it's not on my dime. But anyway, a very important local story that we, of course, will follow here on WSB. Deborah's back. She's our official Catholic correspondent. We're going to update on the health of the Pope. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's all I'm going to say. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll let her, in her own words, explain next on The Mark Arum Show.
Some of what the Navy reports
defies the laws of physics.
The opinions expressed are his.
And I mean that very seriously.
And that's what makes you listen.
We may have to do more.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Playing a game with your family? Fun! Playing a game with your roof? You'll lose every time. Dave Baker here with the perfect match for your roof, Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. They're the extra effort experts with upfront pricing, exceptional service, and they'll treat your home like it's their own. Win, win, win. And with Findlay, manners matter. Findlay also has 0% financing available. Get your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've trusted America's Best Choice for more than a decade, and so can you.
For a limited time, get the best quality windows starting at just $299. Plus, act now and save 10% on all new decks. And enjoy great pricing on siding, roofing, fencing, motorized awnings, and more. Don't wait. Go to abcwin.com and schedule your free consultation. America's Best Choice. Quality you can trust. Prices you can afford.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
When it comes to your home, you want the very best. And providing the very best garage doors, windows, and front doors is why All Four Seasons is celebrating 25 years. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We're a local, family-owned company built on honesty, customer service, and teamwork. We'll treat you like you're our only customer. All Four Seasons, celebrating a quarter century of quality work and customer care. All the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Taylor with Be the Younger You Atlanta. You've heard me talk about my patients losing up to 20 to 30 pounds in 1 month without side effects, injections, nausea, or muscle loss. That's because they're using anti-aging to lose weight. That's why they talk about how great they feel. Their energy levels soar, brain fog goes away, their joints don't hurt as much, and their hair and skin are better. It's not just about losing weight. I tell them, go by these 3 things. Do I feel better? Am I happier about the way I look? And are my labs better? That's what counts. It's all about doing more, like when you were younger and living longer on your own terms. Hear it from the patients themselves. Go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com. That's BeTheYoungerYouATL.com or call 770-415-3000 now for your free consultation. 770-415-3000. That's 770-415-3000.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
10:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Checking delays on I-75. Live with the latest. Smile, Mark McKay.
In the pay lanes, Mark, I-75 southbound. It's been rugged through Marietta all morning long. Not easy if you're paying for the ride south toward Truist Park. Fire rescue on the scene along with Georgia State Patrol dealing with an injury crash in those express lanes. I-75 southbound at Delk Road. I see on the jam cam the through lanes are also still slowing as you approach I-285. Inside the perimeter are on Ashley Frasca spotted construction, 75 southbound in the HOV lane at Howell Mill Road. And on the west side perimeter, left lane taken out with a crash, 285 north at exit 13. That's Bolton Road. This report sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
10:18 on the Mark Arum Show. Updating the Post Health in just a second. 10:35. Allison Keyes going to join us live from CBS News in D.C. Huge budget win for Speaker Johnson and President Trump. And 11 o'clock, President Trump holding his first cabinet meeting of his second term. We will carry that live until it goes private, until they close the doors and kick the press out. But we'll bring that to you live. Updating the big story here, it looks like there will be an agreement between President Trump and President Zelensky signed at the Oval Office this Friday regarding rare earth minerals. This is President Zelensky this morning.
My question will be very direct. If the United States will stop support or not, can we buy weapon? If it's not aid, can we buy weapon directly from the United States? Can we work with frozen assets for buying weapon, for example? Then for investment to a lot of things like minerals.
A lot of details still to be ironed out, but if this agreement is reached, it could be an absolute game changer in now the 3-plus-year-old war between Russia and Ukraine. Any developments on that rare earth minerals deal or any of the peace negotiations, we'll bring it to you live here on 95.5 WSB. We're going to be talking about the Doge emails and the crackdown on waste, fraud, and abuse in the government by Elon Musk and Doge. But I am going to play you unedited audio of Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene commenting on what Doge is doing and who they are doing it to.
You can protest all you want outside of departments of this government. You can protest all you want, but the American people disagree with you. You're protecting the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is not a business. Those are not real jobs producing federal revenue. By the way, they're consuming taxpayer dollars. Those jobs are paid for by the American tax people who work real jobs, earn real income, pay federal taxes, and then pay these federal employees. Federal employees do not deserve their jobs. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks. And these are jobs that can be fired at will.
The last couple lines there hurt my heart. Listen, no one can disagree that the elimination of waste, fraud, and abuse at the federal government level, heck, all levels of government, is needed and long overdue. But to say that no federal employees deserve their jobs, I'm not going to run down the list of who I think are essential federal employees. I'll just start and end at our local VA hospital. The doctors, nurses, administrators at the VA, all federal workers, they don't deserve their paychecks. They don't deserve their jobs. That is a bridge too far for me, Miss Greene. I mean, sure, there's definitely waste, fraud, and abuse. Cut it out. Get rid of the cancerous elements of the federal government. But to say that no federal worker deserves their checks or should have their job, just the doctors and nurses at the VA, the physical therapists at the VA, the psychiatrists at the VA. All our brave fighting men and women came back from combat overseas dealing with mental issues. There are federal employees that are tasked with helping them. They deserve their jobs. They deserve their paychecks. So pump the brakes on the rhetoric, please. Want to update the Pope's health. I was waiting to update this, Deborah. until you got back, since you are our official Catholic correspondent. Let me get an update from Chris Livesay. He is a CBS News correspondent in Rome.
The Vatican says that he hasn't had any more respiratory crises or asthma attacks since that happened. So it's good news, but it's not dramatically better news. He continues to be in the hospital. Today, for instance, he would have appeared at his general audience here in St. Peter's Square.
So, I mean, better news, I guess, for the 88-year-old pontiff, Deborah Green, but the health is a concern. The reason I waited to talk about this until you were back from your 2 days off was, is this a situation, again, forgive my ignorance, and I mean no disrespect, but if let's say, politically, like if the president of the United States was 88 and dealing with pneumonia and he's missing part of his lung already from an injury, is there a mechanism for the Pope to like just say, I am not physically capable of performing this job, and he can step down, and then they vote on a replacement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's
you can step down. So if you remember the Pope before, Benedict actually abdicated, I guess you say, kind of like a king or a queen would. He stepped down, and that's why we have Francis. Francis took over. But for a little while, there were actually two popes. So, yeah, the Pope can step down if he wants to.
Do you think that's a possibility? This Pope Francis has, been benevolent, and he's raised some the ire of some folks. But do you think he could get to the point and recognize himself, like, because this is a big year coming up, right? This is like I think they call it a Jubilee year, where they're going to be millions.
This is a Jubilee year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you think he might say, I'm not up to this task, and he might step down? And if he does step down, what is the next?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? All right. But if he does, or God forbid, pass.
I don't think so. He took this role very seriously when he was selected to be Pope, kind of like how JP2 was. This is you're Pope until you die, and I believe that's what he is going to continue to do. He maybe makes suggestions to cardinals. Have you seen Conclave yet? This is kind of what Conclave is all about. He might make suggestions to cardinals saying, hey, this person could be the next Pope, but I don't think he's going to step down at all.
Interesting. Okay, so our official Catholic correspondent, Deborah Green, here on the Mark Arum Show, says she does not think that Pope Francis will step down. Maybe slide some duties to the cardinals. Briefly, if you can, explain Jubilee and why it's such a big deal.
Jubilee this is kind of cool. So the Pope will select churches around the country, around the world, I guess, and make them special places of pilgrimage. They get all these blessings, and you're supposed to go and kind of visit, because not everybody gets to go to the Vatican, right? It's hard to get there, so you kind of have other opportunities to celebrate in these Jubilee years. They only happen so often. Not every Pope gets to take place, and so if a religion is something that's important to you, you just kind of have a little extra step into being a little bit closer to your God.
Interesting. All right, so the Jubilee. All right, so Deborah says that she does not believe Pope Francis will. Hopefully, he obviously recovers fully. But despite the health concerns and his age, and I didn't know that he had an operation as a child. He's missing half of one side of his lung. He will not step down. But if he did, it goes to the Cardinals, and then we have the vote. I know from Godfather Part 3, right? It could be it's a behind-the-scenes vote and very dramatic. What's the show? Conclave. I'm going to write that down. Conclave. I need to watch that. What's
Conclave? Yeah, it's won some awards. It's nominated for a bunch of stuff. I want to say it was on Prime. I watched it on Prime or Peacock, one of the streaming channels. But it kind of deals with everything that's happening right now.
There you go. Deborah Green, official Catholic correspondent of the Mark Arum Show. By the way, one episode to go of Paradise on Hulu. Usually I wait till the series ends before I recommend it, but already I'm giving it 9 out of 10. Check it out. The season finale is going to be airing next week, but I'll give you time to catch up. Paradise, Hulu. Absolutely phenomenal show. All right, now I'll check out Conclave. Thank you, Deborah Green. All right, news, weather, and traffic 3 minutes away when we come back, updating a huge budget victory for Speaker Mike Johnson and President Trump. What happened in the halls of Congress yesterday? Allison Keyes from CBS joins us live. Next, social media is active throughout the show at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Oh, just breaking news pop. The first measles death has been reported in West Texas in the outbreak there. Oh, we'll update that story too. Mark Arum Show continues next on WSB.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. If for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Ready to transform your outdoor living space? Welcome to SPF Screens and Awnings, the experts in outdoor screen and shade products proudly serving Atlanta. At SPF, we tailor solutions just for you. With our custom-built screens and awnings, you choose the material, color, and design to match your style. Looking for comfort and privacy? Our motorized screens keep the bugs and sun out while allowing the breeze in with the click of a button. With SPF, our seamless turnaround means you'll have your products in just a few weeks. And with our 5-year warranty on hurricane screens and 10-year warranty on screens and awnings, you know you're investing in quality that lasts. We even offer flexible financing. Elevate your outdoor area today. Transform your outdoor living with SPF Screens and Awnings, where comfort meets style. For a limited time, enjoy $250 off our motorized awnings and screens. Purchase any awning and receive a free LED light upgrade to enhance your outdoor experience with a perfect ambiance day or night. Visit sunprotection.com to schedule your free consultation. That's sunprotection.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. President Trump is holding the first cabinet meeting of his current term today, and billionaire Elon Musk will be there, even though he's not a cabinet secretary himself.
Multiple cabinet members have already clashed with Musk, directing their staff not to respond to that email to federal workers demanding a list of 5 things they accomplished last week.
Peter Alexander reporting 21 employees are stepping down from Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, saying that they will not use their technical expertise to, quote, compromise core government systems, jeopardize Americans' sensitive data, or dismantle critical public services. President Trump now proposing a new path to citizenship, a $5 million fee. He says it would give all the benefits of a green card, plus a route to U.S. citizenship. Rachel Scott has more on that from Washington.
The president was asked directly if Russian oligarchs, for example, could apply for this program. He said yes, possibly, saying he knows some Russian oligarchs, calling them very nice people.
And Mr. Trump said that the sale of the cards will begin in about 2 weeks and suggests millions such cards could be sold. A beautiful day on tap today, mostly sunny. Afternoon highs around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Our top local story, a former Customs and Border Protection officer from the U.S. Virgin Islands is found guilty of smuggling cocaine here to Atlanta. 45-year-old Ivan Van Beverhout used his position to smuggle more than 16 kilograms of cocaine into Atlanta from the U.S. Virgin Islands. He's accused of wearing his uniform, boarding a flight from St. Thomas to Atlanta, carrying those drugs in 2 carry-on bags. It was a trained narcotics canine at Hartsfield-Jackson that detected the cocaine. The former agent now headed to federal prison. Police in DeKalb County getting a raise come March 1st. Police recruits will have a starting salary now of $61,000. Senior officers earning up to $70,000. In a release from the DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson, she says that the raises are part of a broader strategy to enhance public safety. It also includes a $500 monthly housing allowance and expanded medical coverage. The county's looking for new officers. The next hiring event is set for March 8th in DeKalb County. Now, your health. The Mediterranean diet could actually help lower the risk of cancer, in particular obesity-related cancers.
The Mediterranean diet focuses on plant-based foods, healthy fats, and moderate consumption of animal proteins. It's known to help reduce abdominal fat, but this study found waist-to-hip ratios in BMI didn't seem to be the reason for the reduced risk. So still more research is needed to understand the why and how this diet helped reduce obesity-related cancer risk. But now, promising data showing that what you eat can actually change your health outcomes.
And Eva Pilgrim reports the Mediterranean diet lowered participants' risk of all obesity-related cancers by 6%. It cut the chance of kidney and esophageal cancers by a third. And here's a story from North Carolina. A woman and a man get into a fight. She ends up locking her boyfriend in a storage unit for 4 days.
Police say after the couple had an argument, Robin Deaton locked the man in the unit with no light, food, or water.
911, where's your emergency?
I've been locked in the storage unit for about a week now, and I just now found my phone.
Monroe Police Lieutenant Morgan Malone says the unit was packed.
As soon as the officers opened up the door, things started falling out.
The man was treated for dehydration. Police will charge Deaton with attempted murder and kidnapping.
It's an important reminder that men are also victims of domestic violence.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
All right, let's take a look at your money. The Dow is up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's up almost a full percent, and the S&P's not far behind. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay has a look at your roads.
Slow road out of Lithia Springs into Douglasville, Sabrina. I-20 westbound has suddenly come to a halt. Looks like police are doing some kind of work. There's only a right lane getting by. We've got 2 left lanes lost, so travel advisory on I-20 westbound as police work in 2 left lanes just past Thornton Road. If they stay out there long enough, you may want to use Highway 78 as an alternate. Delays through Cobb County in the express lanes. Injury crash still in a right lane. I-75 southbound in those express lanes at Delk Road. And inside the perimeter, construction takes out the HOV express lane. I-75 southbound, crowding things in as you leave Moores Mill Road, heading to Howell Mill and Northside Drive. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today and warm, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. Tomorrow, a cold front moves through with cloudy skies, but a slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Daytime high 68. Cooling down to the low 40s on Friday morning. Daytime high 64.
Sunny and 61 in Marietta. Sugar Hill has 62 degrees. It's 60 in Holly Springs. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
I've got a sense of humor.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
The driver of this vehicle is a better human being than you are.
He's Eric Von Hessler.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
A lot of work yet to be done, but we're going to celebrate tonight, and we'll roll up our sleeves and get right back at it in the morning.
Speaker Mike Johnson celebrating a budget agreement on the floor of the Congress yesterday. Allison Keyes from CBS breaks it down next on The Mark Arum Show.
Bugs bugging you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Big win yesterday for Speaker Johnson and President Trump. Covering the story from CBS News, joining us live, Allison Keyes. Allison, what happened yesterday, and what's the next steps in this budget process?
Well, yesterday was a boatload of crazy, with both parties calling each other liars, holding press conferences. House Speaker Mike Johnson basically is crowing. He says, we got it done. We've got a lot of hard work ahead of us. We are going to deliver the American First agenda. We're going to deliver it all, not just parts of it, and this is a first step in that process. Democrats who didn't have the votes to oppose this did their best. In fact, one Democrat, Brittany Peterson, showed up with her newborn baby to cast her vote on the Hill. One Democrat did not vote, who's recovering from cancer treatment, but it passed 217 to 215. So the next step is going to take some time. There's going to be weeks of committee hearings to draft the details. The House version is going to go to the Senate, which has already put together a slightly smaller package. So it's just going to be a hot mess. But Democrats held a press conference yesterday and had constituents. One of them, Mary Beth Cochran, a North Carolina resident who's she's still recovering from Hurricane Helene, basically said she's raising 4 grandkids and she can't survive without Medicare and the food benefits. So everyone is very upset.
Allison, with this agreement on the floor of the House yesterday, does that mean we will not be facing a government shutdown next month?
I don't think that's at all. That's not necessarily a thing. I mean, federal funding expires March 14th, and everyone is so entrenched in their positions, it's difficult. Again, the Democrats don't have the votes to block anything, but there are some Republicans that are now catching some problems from their constituents who are worried about the job cuts because of DOGE.
Would you consider it a miracle that Speaker Johnson was able to get this through?
I don't know that it was a miracle. I mean, he has some pretty tall help from President Trump, but he has been wrangling people pretty well.
And not a single defector, right? Not a single Republican voted against this.
There was a single Republican, Rep. Thomas Massey from Kentucky, but a couple of others who had said that they were going to vote against it caved at the end after they pulled them aside in the cloakroom. First, they called the vote off, and then they called it back on. It was a whole circus. It was kind of the wrangling that is rarely seen, or more robust than often seen, I should say.
I don't want to be your assignment editor, but if you run into Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene today on Capitol Hill, can you ask her to clarify her statements from yesterday? Could you do that for me?
I totally will.
All right, thank you. Allison Keyes, CBS News, covering all things congressional there in D.C. I, for one, did not think that Speaker Johnson had the votes to get it. But I think Allison made a very good point there. And we're starting to see that here in Georgia, that Republican congressional leaders hearing from their constituents, especially folks that were federal workers that voted for Donald Trump, that have just lost their job and they don't believe that they deserve to lose their job. So, obviously interesting times there in the nation's capital. Allison Keyes from CBS. Thank you. Again, 11 a.m. I'm kind of excited about this. The first cabinet meeting for President Trump in his second term will be taking place. Elon Musk will be in attendance. And the question is, where is he going to be sitting, or where? It's assumed that he will have a seat at the table, not standing up. But where will he be sitting? Will he be sitting next to the president? I just thought about this, Deborah, just now, actually. So you think about what's going on with President Trump and Elon Musk and Doge. Do you think that Vice President J.D. Vance feels like the middle child in this relationship? Like he's supposed to be
jealous.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be the right-hand man of the president, right? Like that's what the vice president, it's a ribbon-cutting post for sure. But you when you think of a president, you think of Barack Obama. His right-hand man was Biden. George Bush had Cheney. But if you think of President Trump now, his right-hand man isn't his VP. It's Elon Musk. I wonder if I should text Erickson this. I wonder if J.D. Vance is kind of feeling like the kid that's getting picked last for kickball in the schoolyard. You understand what I'm saying? Like he should be the one that's sitting next to the president and doing all the, and he's just like
he's throwing temper tantrums like I should do that.
Well,
I should do that.
He's certainly not doing it publicly, right? And he did the European tour, did the visit, but and not to slight the vice president at all, but if I'm just putting myself in his shoes, like, hey, I was your running mate, dude. We got elected together. That was a ticket. Musk wasn't on the ticket. Like, I should be the guy standing next to you in the Oval. I should be the guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading. Maybe I should have been a psychology major. Because I think I would, if I were the vice president, I'd be like, where's my spotlight? Where's my praise? President Trump just praising Musk. And anyway, I'll text Erickson. He knows the vice president. Maybe he can come down to this. This is pretty shocking. People have come down on The Price is Right for decades now, but today's episode will be the game show's 10,000th episode, and they'll be celebrating not only with a giant cake, but with supercharged prizes throughout the show, including one substantial cash prize to a lucky winner. Since the show's debut, about 75,000 people have been contestants, and more than $300 million in cash and prizes have been given away. I heard Chris Chandler mention this morning on the morning news. Drew Carey is the host of Prices Right now. Deborah, any idea how long Drew Carey has been hosting The Price is Right after Bob Barker?
Ooh, it's been a while now. Is it close to 20 years?
17 years. Good job. To me, it seems like it was like 5 years ago.
It's still Bob Barker to me.
Yeah. If you, I think it was on Netflix. There was a documentary about some guy that gamed the Price is Right system. I wish I had the name for it. You saw it. Amazing documentary. The history behind that show is remarkable. Anyway, their 10,000th episode. I cannot tell you the last time I saw a single episode of The Price is Right. But anyway, that's big. 10,000. Is this our 10,000th episode, Vinny, of the Mark Arum Show? We're creeping up on that. Vinny would get selected as a contestant on The Price is Right. Vinny Bag of Donuts, come on down. Anyway, quick break. When we come back, Laura Davidson from Bloomberg is going to join us talking about maybe some clarification on that infamous Doge email. And then at 11 o'clock, the cabinet meeting begins. President Trump's first cabinet meeting of his second term. We will carry that live right here on The Mark Arum Show.
Morning rush hour.
Jam-packed bumper to bumper.
Evening rush hour.
All lanes are shut down.
And everything in between.
Crash still in the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Slow beginning at Piedmont Avenue, 75 South Slow.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Heavy rains have recently impacted widespread areas of North Georgia. How did your roof hold up? Heavy rains expose roof leaks that can lead to water damage. Schedule a free roof analysis from Dave Baker, trusted and recommended, FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop. Costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your heat? Ace Hardware Home Services is right around the corner with trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to heating and cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Find us at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
10:50 on the Mark Aram Show. Travel advisory outbound I-20 Lithia Springs, live with the latest. Smiling Mark McKay.
On the Jam Cam, we see police working Mark in 2 left lanes of I-20 westbound past Thornton Road, exit 44. Close to the way station, not too far from Lee Road. That is really stacking things up as you leave Six Flags. So Highway 78, Veterans Memorial Highway, the way to go. I-75 express lane trouble remains in Marietta. Got a right lane blocked in the express lane. I-75 southbound at Delk Road. And construction up and running, could run through the morning and afternoon in northwest Atlanta. HOV lane, take it away. I-75 southbound, Howell Mill Road, Northside Drive. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Well, it's somewhat voluntary, but it's also, if you don't answer, I guess you get fired. What it really is do people exist?
President Trump last night from the Oval while signing executive orders. DOGE, more questions than answers from the Department of Government Efficiency. Joining us live covering DOGE from Bloomberg News, it's Laura Davidson. Laura, good morning. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for having me.
I mean, so much to talk about with Doge. Let's start with who is heading up the Department of Government Efficiency. We assumed it was Musk, but another name popped up yesterday.
Yeah, there's really a question of sort of who is like doing the work of Doge and who is the official head. So the White House said several weeks ago that Elon Musk was not the official administrator for Doge, and then yesterday confirmed that person is Amy Gleason. This is someone who has worked in healthcare technology, and she actually during the first Trump administration worked for the U.S. Digital Service, which is the office that has essentially transformed into Doge under Trump's second term.
Have we heard from Miss Gleason since her name got popped into the public vernacular?
We have not. She's a pretty private person, sort of an under the radar person during the pandemic. She did a lot of work on helping track all the pandemic numbers. It's important to remember that this office that Doge has become, existed. It started in the Obama years and was basically a federal IT modernization. So it worked with the tax system, Social Security, Veterans Administrations, trying to streamline their tech systems essentially. Trump in his executive order then essentially created Doge out of that, where Musk has really been calling the shots there. But he doesn't hold the official legal title leading that group.
Interesting. And Laura, how did we come about? I'm assuming it was the White House press corps that were asking questions of the press secretary to find out exactly if it wasn't Musk, who is the head administrator. Can you take us through that process, how this came to light?
Yeah, so this question was really raised several weeks ago in a court filing about some of these Doge cases. The White House said that Elon Musk is not the administrator. He is not an employee of Doge. He is a special employee of the White House. He's a special advisor to Trump. This has some practical implications in that it shields him from some transparency laws. So he can't Freedom of the Information Act request. All of his communication with Trump would be covered by executive privilege, meaning it's much harder for it to become public. And so this started raising questions among the press corps of, who, if it's not Musk, who is the administrator of Doge? Yesterday, during the press briefing, Caroline Leavitt, who's the press secretary, received several questions, and she said, I'm not, it's not Elon Musk. He is, however, overseeing Doge, but I'm not going to release the name of the person who is working on this. So thanks to some good reporting, that name, Amy Gleason, has finally come out.
All right, so do we know, Laura, does Amy Gleason, who is the official Doge administrator, does she report to Elon Musk, President Trump? Who is her direct supervisor?
So it's unclear, exactly, who she's dealing with on a day-to-day basis. This U.S. Doge service is essentially under the Office of Management and Budget. This is sort of the money accounting arm of the White House, and that is run by Russell Vought, who is also someone who's returned from Trump's first administration. He is a very, hardline figure who has a lot of strong views about executive power and the direction of the federal government.
Do we know, Laura Davison from Bloomberg News joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, Doge has been in the news cycle the last 6 or 7 days about that now infamous email that was sent out to federal employees. And we got some pushback by some cabinet members saying to their people, don't reply to this email. Have we gotten any clarification on that email and what federal workers should be doing in regard to that?
Yeah, so the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, basically came out with guidance and said, look, this is voluntary. You do not have to respond. It's actually not clear. They indicated that there is no plan for agencies to use this data for people who have responded. The White House said yesterday about 1 million people responded to this email. That's a little bit less than half of all federal workers, so clearly a lot of people didn't ever hit reply to that. There were a lot of concerns that, sort of by replying to this email, people would, give out information that could be harmful to national security. The HHS, Health and Human Services, actually told their employees, assume that anything you say in this will be read by malign foreign actors. So a lot of data concerns there and a lot of pushback from agencies, including, Trump's closest allies, people like Kash Patel or Pete Hegseth at the Defense Department.
I'm assuming that might come up behind closed doors in that cabinet meeting, which is set to start in about 5 minutes. Final question for you, Laura. We got an office pool going on the cabinet meeting. Elon Musk sitting or standing? And if he's sitting, where is he at the table for the cabinet meeting?
That's the question that we're all looking at. I'll note that when he was in the Oval Office last time with Trump, he was standing.
Yes, I know. But I find it hard to see him standing with the congressional aides and the other aides against the wall during the cabinet meeting. That would look. I can't imagine Musk optically would want to see him standing next to the aides of the department heads.
We'll see, and we'll see if he's wearing sunglasses as well.
There you go. All right, Laura Davison, Bloomberg News. Laura, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. Have a
There
good
you
one.
go. Obviously, a lot to cover there. All right, so Amy Gleason is who is in charge of DOGE. We're just minutes away from the start of that cabinet meeting. Again, we will bring it to you live. I do have new reaction as well out of Ukraine for the development on that rare earth minerals deal. So we're going to check in with Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv after news, weather, traffic. This is bad news for me. Coffee prices at a 50-year high. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Coffee prices have risen 23% since the start of the year, and coffee is up nearly 70% since 2020. Peter Goodman from the New York Times.
Climate change is raising temperatures, and coffee is traditionally grown in shady places, high elevation. Higher temperatures hurt crops. But then we've had excessive rainfall in places. We've had droughts in others, most notably in Vietnam and Brazil. These are the world's two largest coffee producers.
I can't catch a break. I just want some scrambled cheese eggs and a cup of coffee from Waffle House, and they're both rising in prices. Unbelievable. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, we'll dip into that cabinet meeting and new reporting out of Kyiv on that mineral deal that we expect President Trump, President Zelensky to sign this Friday. So much more to come on The Mark Arum Show.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've trusted America's Best Choice for more than a decade, and so can you.
For a limited time, get the best quality windows starting at just $299. Plus, act now and save 10% on all new decks. And enjoy great pricing on siding, roofing, fencing, motorized awnings, and more. Don't wait. Go to abcwin.com and schedule your free consultation. America's Best Choice. Quality you can trust, prices you can afford.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on Post cereal or Kroger brand peanut butter. Select varieties are only $1.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Our top story. We all know Piedmont Park. So what would you like to see change there at the park? Well, if you want your voice heard, tonight is your last chance to chime in.
The first major update to the Piedmont Park Master Plan in 25 years is set to be unveiled in April. But first, the final public feedback session. The Conservancy's Doug Widener says they've received great suggestions over the last 9 months.
Restoring Lake Clear and providing ways for folks to get more up close and personal with the lake was our top idea getter.
More athletic courts and fields, additional play areas, and enhancements to the natural beauty also suggested. The Zoom starts at 6. Register on the park website to get the link. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, I hope you get a chance to get out and enjoy the weather today, maybe at Piedmont Park. It's going to be gorgeous, mostly sunny, pleasant, high around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer from the U.S. Virgin Islands on drug smuggling charges. WSB Cheryl Castro reports he's now facing federal prison time, and there is a connection here in Atlanta.
Ivan Van Beverhout is found guilty of importing and possessing more than 16 kilograms of cocaine with the intent to distribute the drugs. Prosecutors say he traveled in his capacity as a CBP officer aboard a flight from the U.S. Virgin Islands to Atlanta with 16 bricks of cocaine packed in 2 carry-on bags. He was able to avoid TSA screening in St. Thomas, but after arriving at Atlanta's airport, a narcotics canine officer was able to sniff out the cocaine in his luggage. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
In Paulding County, they're going after gangs there. There's a new unit dedicated to taking them down. Sheriff Ashley Henson telling WSB the unit's small, but will work alongside others.
They're working in conjunction with a lot of our other divisions and units. They're working with our Criminal Investigations Division, our Northwest Georgia Drug Task Force.
He says any gang activity is bad. The department has also added cold case and intelligence units, and they hope to set up a real-time crime center soon. Well, this hour, President Trump will be holding his first cabinet meeting. Karen Travers has more from the White House.
The president will likely go around the room, talk to all of his cabinet secretaries, and ask them for an update on the first month in office. He wants to hear from them about the accomplishments that they will tout during this cabinet meeting.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky said his visit to Washington on Friday is not a sure thing. Speaking in Kyiv today, Zelensky says that he wants security guarantees from the Trump administration to protect Ukraine from Russia before signing a deal to provide the U.S. with rare earth minerals. The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu, including increasing imports of eggs. A 3-year bird flu outbreak in the U.S. poultry has killed 166 million chickens since 2022. The virus has also infected nearly 1,000 dairy herds and almost 70 people, including 1 death. Since early last year, the government's also exploring vaccines for chickens. And now, are you getting enough sleep? Sleep deprivation can potentially worsen chronic inflammation. Researchers have found a link between poor sleep and immune cells that can drive inflammation associated with obesity and chronic disease. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is currently up 194 at 43,815. NASDAQ is currently up more than a full percent, and the S&P is up almost a full percent. It's 11:03, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Busy out on the roadways. Still got this travel advisory out in Lithia Springs. Police activity in a few left lanes. I-20 westbound, just past Thornton Road before you get to Lee Road, exit 41. Jump up, use Highway 78 as an alternate. Now a new travel advisory in Gwinnett County between Duluth and Norcross. It's I-85 southbound, Beaver Ruin Road. Exit number 102. They are in four right lanes. You're jammed up leaving Highway 316. That means using Satellite Boulevard or Buford Highway as your alternates there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76. That's trending about 15 degrees above average. Lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. But change is on the way in the form of a cold front on Thursday. Cloudy skies, high 68. A slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Cooling down on Friday, morning low 42. Afternoon high 64.
It is 65 degrees in Brookhaven and Tucker. Ackworth has 62 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04, cannot catch your breath today. A lot of breaking news to cover. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show with you till noon. I believe we have some more tickets to give away. Deborah Green, is that right? Do we have those Outlaw tickets to give away again today? If so, they'll happen in 30 minutes. 30 minutes we'll give away tickets to see the Outlaw Gang, including Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan. We are awaiting the first cabinet meeting of President Trump in his second term. We're going to see where Elon Musk fits in at the table or not at the table. I do want to update the breaking news that we've been following all morning. So I'm going to play a little bit of audio. At the top of the show, we had White House correspondent Karen Travers on talking about the possibility of a rare earth mineral deal signed maybe this Friday at the White House between President Trump and President Zelensky.
The White House is not confirming that a deal has been reached or even a framework of a deal, but a senior Ukrainian official tells us that both countries are there, that they're at a framework of a deal for Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Details are still, to be announced, but reports that it could be a joint ownership of a fund where Ukraine would contribute half of their proceeds from state-owned resources. The U.S. would have access to Ukraine's minerals, partial access to Ukraine's minerals, oil, and gas. I mean, this is a
different way of doing things, very different from the Biden administration, where Donald Trump has now said that, Ukraine has to repay the U.S. because of all that the U.S. has given over the last 3 years to support their war effort and also support their government and humanitarian aid, essentially saying that now there has to be access to natural resources so that there can be a repayment for all of that money that has gone overseas over the last 3 years.
If this comes to fruition, that could be quite a paradigm shift between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. I can imagine that Ukraine's going to want some sort of security guarantee in exchange for this mineral deal, and I can't imagine Vladimir Putin would like that.
Yeah, and Zelensky has been very hesitant to agree to something if there was no promise of security guarantees. And the president was asked about that yesterday. Would you provide military support for Ukraine in the future? And he said, you mean like security? The reporter said yes, and he said, well, people are going to do it. I think Europe will largely be responsible for that. European countries will be responsible. So we will see what these details look like, but that is, of course, something the Ukrainians are pushing for.
All right, so that was Karen Travers. We had her on at the top of the show, White House correspondent for ABC, on the huge breaking news. So that was at 9 o'clock. And then shortly after that, we heard from the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky, talking about this possible rare earths mineral deal, and we got a little clarification about what might be in this deal.
My question will be very direct: if the United States will stop support or not. Can we buy weapon? If it's not aid, can we buy weapon directly from the United States? Can we work with frozen assets for buying weapon, for example? Then for investment to a lot of things like minerals.
So, all right, maybe not then there is a security guarantee. That is something he wants to flesh out in person with President Trump. So rare earth mineral deal might take place this Friday at the White House between Russia and Ukraine. But we heard from the Ukrainian president there, he has not yet guaranteed security guarantees from the United States. He wants to be able to buy weapons from us, but it doesn't like there'll be any American peacekeeping troops. All right, so what then has been the reaction in Kyiv? Nick Payton-Walsh.
Yeah, I mean, look, he, most importantly, in his first major comments since we heard from President Trump that he was going to be headed to the United States, he didn't actually confirm that he knew when he'd be meeting President Trump. He wants to have that meeting, certainly. He talked about going to London on the way back, and he sounded positive about this deal. But the real issue seems to be, firstly, that he doesn't want to make any reference to the aid that the United States has already given Ukraine as debt. He said he wouldn't even allow 10 cents to be reimbursed in that situation, and also to the language relating to security guarantees. Remember, the whole point of this in the minds of Kiev is that they agree to hand over significant parts of their natural resources and rare earth minerals in exchange for security guarantees. Now, we've obtained a copy of that particular draft deal, one that was current as of this morning from a source familiar with the negotiations, and there is referenced by President Zelensky in his press conference, point 10 of the agreement, that seems to go as far as thus far both sides are willing to see in black and white the reference to security guarantees. Let me read that to you because it is important. Much hinges upon it. The government of the United States of America supports Ukraine's efforts to obtain security guarantees needed to establish lasting peace. Participants will seek to identify any necessary steps to protect mutual investments as defined in the fund agreement. Now, that is absolutely not the U.S. security guarantee for Ukraine. It's saying that they will go along with Ukraine trying to find one. And it also does make that slight reference to protecting mutual investments. That's long been the pitch by U.S. officials, that really this deal is about trying to get the United States incentivized in defending Ukraine. The deal also spells out that half of what they call relevant resources will be put into an investment fund for the reconstruction of Ukraine. But it does also say that the bulk of working out what those assets are actually going to be will be in another agreement that's going to be negotiated once this is signed. So we're at a point where clearly negotiations are still going on. You heard that quarterback reference, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent saying at the 1 yard line. But ultimately this is going to come down to Zelensky and Trump, it seems, in a room discussing. Zelensky said he wants to hear Trump say whether the US is still going to provide aid. He wants to talk about security guarantees too. It's going to come down to how well these men get along if indeed they meet. The deal is moving forwards, last-minute haggling to be expected, but it's not done by any sense of the imagination.
All right, Nick Payton Walsh there in Kyiv updating this still developing story. Now, if you hit the rewind button and go back to the 9 o'clock hour when we talked to Karen Travers, and it seemed like that in exchange for this rare earth minerals guarantee that the U.S. would provide security guarantees for Ukraine. And you remember my reaction was Vladimir Putin flipping over marble tables at the Kremlin, not happy with that. Apparently now, as we get more information, there are no such security guarantees, which would unflip that marble table that Putin flipped over, because that would have been horrible news for Russia if that, in addition to this rare mineral rights treaty or contract, that the U.S. would provide security guarantees. Putin would absolutely despise that. But that's not in there now as we get more clarification. Now, Nick Payton Walsh made an interesting point. I've been talking about this the last couple of days. If there is this treaty, this agreement for the rare earth minerals in Ukraine, and you mentioned how Nick Payton Walsh mentioned how there will be like an investment fund, whatever they dig up, we put it in a fund and we share the profits with Ukraine. That at least gives the United States a vested interest in the future of Ukraine. Right? If there is no more Ukraine, then there's no deal for their rare earth minerals. So that provides at least some security for Zelensky and the Ukrainians that, hey, we have skin in this game. All right. Whatever happens to Ukraine, it matters to the United States because now we have a portion of the profits coming out of the earth. Not great news for Putin, but better news than it was 2 hours ago when it seemed like there would be a security guarantee. Fast moving, really important story. Again, as far as we know, and everything's still fluid, as we found out in the last 2 hours, President Zelensky is going to fly to the nation's capital this Friday and bang out the final agreement of that rare earth mineral deal with President Trump in the Oval Office. A monumental movement in the Russia-Ukraine war. All right, speaking of President Trump, I don't know if they're delayed or not, but I don't believe they'd started that cabinet meeting. As soon as it starts, we'll bring you audio live here on 95.5 WSB.
Stay connected to Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic with the 95.5 WSB app. Listen to Atlanta's morning news. EVH, Eric Erickson, Mark Aram, and Shelley Winter. No matter where you go, 95.5 WSB and the WSB app. Download it today or find us in the iHeart and Odyssey apps.
Valentine's Day come and gone. Were you alone on Valentine's Day, fellas? I feel for you. It's Mark Aram back from my friends at Advanced Hair. Is it because of your receding hairline, your comb over, your bald spot that you were solo on Valentine's Day? Make a change right now and get a date for Valentine's Day next year with Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. It's a quick, simple one-day treatment. And check it out, guys. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed to grow for life. Amazing before and after pictures, by the way, if you want to check it out at advancedhair.com. If you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair, the place. Just takes one visit, guys, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-Ray or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
If I said to focus your energy, where would you start? Let's say you run a business, a school campus, a hospital, or a government facility. Finding ways to save can be overwhelming, but Georgia Power has energy efficiency tips and rebates to help. Things like improving lighting with LEDs, making HVAC upgrades, adding building controls, and more. Look, you've got a business to run and numbers to hit. Georgia Power can help you focus your energy where it matters most. Learn more at georgiapower.com/biz.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. When you have plumbing problems, you need it done quickly and on your schedule. Superior Plumbing will work around your schedule night and day. They've served Atlanta for almost 40 years. They want to be your plumber for life, and they'll earn your trust by doing the work correctly the first time. So do what I did and call Superior Plumbing night or day to have a trusted plumber fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-422 Plum.
11:18 on the Mark Arum Show. Bad news out west. Travel advisory in from Lithia Springs. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, still got this police activity. Only a right lane really getting by. 20 westbound between Thornton Road exit 44 and Lee Road exit 41, stacked up back at Riverside Parkway. Use Highway 78 as an alternate. We also have better news in Duluth. Earlier crash, 85 southbound before Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102 now on the right shoulder, so hopefully those delays leaving Highway 316 will improve. And right lane construction near the airport, 285 northbound, the inner loop near Highway 166. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradio.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
We have this massive government with millions of people, and nobody knows who's working for the government, who's not. So what they're doing is they're sending out a letter to everybody, and they're saying, what were the things you did last week? I guess they ask for 5. And if people are working, it's easy. I could tell you 5 things I did last week. I could tell you 5 things I did 6 weeks ago.
President
right?
Trump last night in the Oval Office as he was signing executive orders. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Updated numbers. Apparently 1 million out of the 2 million federal employees that got that DOJ 5 bullet point, what did you do last week, email have responded. Listen, I'm going to be as critical of President Trump as I was of Biden and Obama. Just everything is delayed, man. I don't know. Once you get in that Oval Office, you don't care about timing. That's why I hate to plan my show around what I expect the presidents to do because they're so late. The cabinet meeting was supposed to start at 11. I don't think it started. It's 11:20. Blue, if you were 20 minutes too late for work, you get slapped on the hand.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, listen, I'm being bipartisan here. Come on, President, stick to a schedule. Let's go. I actually blame the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. I planned on going live to this first cabinet meeting at 11 o'clock. It's 11:20 now. It hasn't started. But when it does, Hopefully it'll be on before noon so I can bring it to you live. I really want to know where Elon Musk is sitting. All right. In the meantime, though, that allows me to talk about a story as I'm getting hungrier and hungrier as we approach the noon hour. America's top favorite grocery stores. Think about, as you're driving around right now, your family, what is your favorite grocery store? This comes from this year's American Consumer Satisfaction Index, the ACSI survey, which measures consumer sentiment across various business sectors, identified the top 10 supermarkets by gathering insights from over 41,000 people nationwide. Participants rated factors such as store quality, mobile app reliability, that's interesting, customer service, product quality, store atmosphere, pickup experience, and website satisfaction to determine their favorite grocery store. All right, so number 10 on the list, I know there are groceries there, but I don't consider this a grocery store. America's 10th favorite grocery store, Target is number 10.
Prices are a little high, but, they got a selection there.
But, some Targets don't have that the supersized Targets have the grocery stores. Anyway, so that's Target is America's 10th. In 9th place, ShopRite. You ever heard of ShopRite, Blue?
Not once.
Yeah, it's in the Northeast, based in New Jersey. I've been there in forever. It started in Newark back in 1946. That is America's 9th favorite grocery store. Clark Howard be happy coming in at 8. Costco is coming in as America's 8th. Number 7, I've only been to this place once, and I didn't know what to make of it. Aldi. You ever been to an Aldi?
I grew up going to Aldi, actually. My mom would have us bag it all ourselves.
I didn't know what was going on in there. I walked in. I wanted to buy my wife I forgot what it was. I was waiting for my haircut appointment. I was like, I'll go kill time in Aldi. I didn't know what was going on in there. I'm not judging. I was just overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, Aldi is number 7. Number 6, Whole Foods. I don't often go to Whole Foods, but when I do, I crush their hot bar. They've got an amazing hot bar. Just ahead of Whole Foods, H-E-B, Heb? It can't be Heb. They were ranked 3rd overall. Apparently, it's Texas-based. I don't know if Deborah's back with us. Have you ever heard of H-E-B grocery stores, Deborah?
H-E-B rules the world down in Texas.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like the Kroger down here. Everything is H-E-B. They say it stands for here, everything is better.
Okay, interesting. All right, so that is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. 4th on the list. I fully endorse this place. Wegmans. You ever been to a Wegmans? They're up in upstate New York. It's like Publix on steroids. It's so good. Speaking of hot bars, they've got like this.
BOGO deals?
I don't know about BOGOs. I've only been to Wegmans like 4 or 5 times, but their hot bar was unparalleled, better than the Whole Foods hot bar. So Wegmans is 4. Number 3, Sam's Club. Interesting. Sam's Club ranking higher than Costco. Very interesting. The second highest rated grocery store in the United States. No shock here. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Actually, it's tied for number 1. Publix is tied for number 1 for the second year in a row. Tied with, any guesses, Deborah, the number 1 grocery store according to Americans? I haven't mentioned them yet.
I do know the answer to this, yes.
Go ahead and tell us.
Yes, I do know. It is Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. There you go. So Trader Joe's and Publix tied for number 1, or as my mother-in-law calls it, Chipper Jones. She lives in Japan, and when she came to visit last summer, Maya's like, "Where do you want to go?" She's like, "Oh, I want to go to Chipper Jones." And Maya's like,
it's a better name.
What are you talking about? She's like, Chipper Jones, the grocery store.
You should get in contact with their PR
Yeah,
team.
and she said Trader Joe's, $2 Chuck, right? I've been to Trader Joe's. All right, so there you go. Trader Joe's and Publix tied at the top. Again, I'm a big fan of Wegmans, and it's H-E-B, not Heb, Deborah, right?
H-E-B.
All right, because he would be very offensive to me if that was the name of the grocery store. All right, there you go. I'm serious. I'm just saying. There you go. The top 10 grocery stores in the United States of America. All right, Elon Musk set to join President Trump in their first cabinet meeting, but I don't believe it started yet. Hopefully, it'll start in the next couple of minutes. We'll be right back. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio. When we come back, Deborah's got some amazing tickets to give away as well. Stay with us. The Mark Arum Show continues next on 95.5 WSB.
You don't park in your garage anymore because your garage door is broken? That's it? Oh, well, too bad. Been meaning to fix it. How much other stuff in your house doesn't work? TV only gets even-numbered channels when it rains. Coffee maker only makes a cup and a half before it quits. If your dishwasher didn't wash, or your printer didn't print, or your vacuum cleaner didn't suck, you'd fix it. Why aren't you parking your car in this clean, dry, awesome garage just because your garage door is broken? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. We have the parts, tools, and the experience to fix what's broken. An expert repair and a fresh overhaul, and you'll get years of service out of your current system without spending a fortune to replace the whole thing. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage, and we'll come over and make it right. Because if it is broke, you do fix it.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your non-stop news source. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. Save time, you'll make the most money. Sean Hannity here. No showings, no open houses, and no stress. Get your guaranteed offer on your home today. MarkSpain.com and start packing. Look, this country was founded on freedom. Freedom from a country that forced us to buy overpriced tea and then trying to blockade us when we dumped their tea into the ocean. How'd that work out? Well, it's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard as well. Pure Talk, a veteran-owned company, my cell phone company, says no to inflated prices. With a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. And yes, this is for premium service on America's most dependable 5G network. Get your iPhone 14, Samsung Galaxy, $0 qualifying plan. You just dial pound 250. You say the keywords Pure Talk, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250. You say the keywords Pure Talk. Claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. This just in. The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office has now identified 57 sets of cremains recovered from a fire at an abandoned funeral home last year. The Norman Medford Peden Funeral Home and Crematory had gone out of business and was about to be foreclosed on when the fire happened. And they have posted the names of the IDs of the individuals online in an effort to reunite the remains with family. Ross Cavett with Cobb County telling us.
The medical examiner's office is aware that this funeral home did a lot of work with defects when it came to indigent burial cases. So we're not sure how much of a response we're going to get from this list.
And we are in the process right now of posting that list online at WSBradio.com. Another beautiful day. I hope you get a chance to get out and enjoy it. Mostly sunny and an afternoon high of 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. How long will this warm weather hang around? She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A former Customs and Border Protection officer from the U.S. Virgin Islands found guilty of smuggling cocaine into Atlanta. 45-year-old Ivan Van Beverhalt used his position to smuggle more than 16 kilograms of cocaine into Atlanta from the U.S. Virgin Islands. He's accused of wearing his uniform, even using his weapon, boarding a flight from St. Thomas to Atlanta, carrying those drugs in 2 carry-on bags. It was a trained narcotics canine at Hartsfield-Jackson International that detected the cocaine. That former agent now headed to federal prison. The U.S. investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu, including increasing imports of eggs. A 3-year bird flu outbreak in the U.S. poultry has killed 166 million chickens since 2022. The virus has also infected nearly 1,000 dairy herds and almost 70 people, including 1 death since early last year. The government's also looking into vaccines for chickens. Texas reporting the first measles death in the U.S. since 2015. The death was confirmed by the head of public health for Lubbock's health department. 7 other states have reported measles cases so far this year, including here in Georgia. The outbreak in Texas has infected more than 120 people. The disease was considered to be eliminated in the U.S. in 2000. You are being urged to make sure that your kids are updated on their vaccines and that you yourself are also updated on your vaccines. The Fountain of Rings is flowing once again at Centennial Olympic Park after extensive renovations. We're talking $3 million worth of renovations. Ken Stockdale with the Georgia World Congress Center telling WSB.
We have modernized it to allow us to do a lot more with what the water can do in the choreography with the music.
And the play function for kids will operate outside the periodic show times. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the green. The Dow's up. NASDAQ also up more than 1%, and the S&P's up more than 0.5%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by Finley Roofing. Here's Alex Williams.
Still got this travel advisory with police activity between Lithia Springs and Douglasville. It's I-20 westbound before Lee Road, exit 41. The only thing that's changed is now they only have the left lane open. 2 right lanes are blocked with its police activity on I-20 westbound. You're jammed up still from Riverside Parkway. That means using Highway 78 as an alternate. Looking for new trouble in Dunwoody, 285 eastbound. There's a crash just past Ashford-Dunwoody Road, exit number 29, already slow back to Georgia 400. And 85 southbound, still in recovery mode from Sugarloaf Parkway to that crash that cleared off to the right around Beaver Ruin Road, exit number 102. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today and warm, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 40s, low 50s. Tomorrow, a cold front moves through with cloudy skies, but a slim chance of an isolated rain shower. Daytime high 68, cooling down to the low 40s on Friday morning, daytime high 64.
67 degrees in Norcross, at 68 in Marietta. Buford, you have 66 degrees under sunny skies. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
Your baby is ugly.
Eric Von Hessler has an opinion.
I abhor violence. Unless it's on the football field, where it belongs.
And some advice.
A meme coin, of course, something I don't really understand. Don't ever buy one. There you go. I just gave you some great advice.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Still awaiting the start of the first cabinet meeting in the second Trump president's term. We'll update that. And Deborah's got some amazing tickets to give away next on the Mark Arum Show.
Playing a game with your family, that's a lot of fun. Playing a game with your roof, you'll lose every time. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. When it comes to replacing or repairing your roof, think of Findlay first. You'll always win with Findlay. They're the extra effort experts with high quality, highly rated roofing experience and expertise. They've replaced over 65,000 roofs locally. With Findlay, manners matter. With Findlay, you get upfront pricing, exceptional service, and they'll treat your home like it's their own. Win, win, win. Only Findlay Roofing stands behind their work with a lifetime leak-free warranty at no additional cost, and you'll pay nothing until the job is complete. Findlay Roofing is the perfect match for any roofing issues. Plus, they offer 0% financing. Get started with a free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
He packed in the animals 2x2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:36, 24 in front of noon. It looks like the cabinet meeting 36 minutes late, running late. The first cabinet meeting of the second Trump term. When that starts, we'll bring it to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Before we get back to the meat and potatoes, let's hit the folks up with some dessert, Deborah Green. What are we giving away today, my friend?
Ooh, yeah, tickets to the Outlaw Fest. This is Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Legends in Music at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on July 25th.
All right, Blue's no longer screening the call, so we don't have to punish him. Brianna's screening the call, so we'll make it easy for her. Seventh caller to 404-872-0750. Seventh caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Willie and Dylan live, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. And correct me if I'm wrong, Deborah, we have two more pairs to give away, right? Tomorrow and Friday?
Two more pairs. Yep, Thursday, Friday.
All right, there we go. All right, so I'm still waiting for this cabinet meeting to pick up, but I want to update a story we teased at the top of the show. I don't know where to begin. President Trump now proposing a new path toward U.S. citizenship for people willing to pay. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details from Washington.
What he's calling a gold card, a version of a green card that would be sold to foreign investors who want to buy their way towards becoming a U.S. citizen.
We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card.
The U.S. would not be the first country to offer so-called golden visas. Countries in Europe have similar initiative programs.
Interesting. All right, so there's a lot to digest on this. As Nicole mentioned, that there are countries in Europe. I think Portugal has something similar. I don't know what the price tag is, but if you buy land in Portugal over a certain amount, you can become a citizen there. Now, optically, as we cut off the refugee valve into the United States, people fleeing war-torn countries, et cetera, will say, no, we're not going to, we can no longer take the poor huddled masses. It kind of looks bad. We're like, oh, if you're a billionaire and you got $5 million, I understand that. My concern is, all right, $5 million for this expedited gold card, which gets you United States. How many people are going to take advantage of that, and is it worth it? Like if there's 10 people, you raise $50 million, which I know to you and me is a huge amount of money, but for the federal government, I guess every little bit counts. Some critics of this, I haven't decided how I feel on this yet. Some critics, and we mentioned President Trump was asked, well, can Russian oligarchs then get the get the gold card?
And wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people.
All right, so that's his rationale. But I saw on social media people like drug lords. Think of the kingpins in Narcos. They're like, oh, only $5 million? I could become a U.S. citizen? Let's do it. I understand their draw. I understand what he's trying to do. More for President Trump on his gold card proposal.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship.
All right, what's the plus? Like Sky Miles? Is it like a Delta Gold card where you get Sky Miles for purchases?
It's a lounge at the Capitol.
Yeah, do you get to go to the Delta Sky Lab, the Sky Lounge? Like, what are the perks of the Gold card? Listen, if it's true, it's going to be Russian oligarchs and drug cartel kingpins. Then charge more. $150 million. That's what I would do. I would have tiers. Like if you are a bad person, it's $150 million. Like if you're if you're Escobar, it's $150 million. If you're not bad, you're just rich, it's $5 million. There should be tiers of that. Like there's tiers of the American Express card. There's, I don't know what they are now, gold, platinum, and then the elusive black card.
Maybe the platinum card means you don't have to pay taxes.
I mean, he's just throwing it out there. I don't know if this is going to be a thing or if he can just, by executive order, make it happen. Speaking of the American Express black card, Deborah, have you ever seen one in person? An American Express black card?
Never. I think Diddy showed one on TV once.
Well, that's not a ringing endorsement for the black card. Apparently, the black card is very exclusive, and there's no limit to what you can buy. I saw one once. Ironically, I brought up this club yesterday in the interview with Martin Luther King III, waiting outside Tongue and Groove. And it was during Super Bowl week or NBA All-Star week, and there was a line down the block. And normally I could get in back in the day with no problem, but even I didn't have the juice to get in there. And some guys skipped the whole line, and instead of showing his ID to the bouncer, he just held up the American Express black card. And the bouncer was like, "Oh, come on in, sir." And I was like, "Well, what is that?" He's like, "That's an Amex black card." Like, he could go in there and spend $6 million without blinking. I was like, "Oh, all right, that's fine. I guess my Sears card doesn't carry the same cachet." But I knew a guy who worked for American Express, and he was like an account manager, and one of his accounts was this big contractor in Canada, and this contractor had an American Express black card. And he would buy, like $1 million worth of steel or plywood. Like, that's why he had it. And so he would spend like $350 million on this black card every year, something ridiculous like that. And this is back in the early 2000s. And someone in his office got a hold of the American Express black card and bought a house, like a $350,000 home in Ontario, Canada, on this black card fraudulently. And so the guy that, whose black card it was, called my buddy, who was the account manager. He's like, "Hey, this guy took the number, bought a house. There's nothing I can do about it." And because he spent so much money on the black card, American Express is like, "All right, we'll just write it off." So the guy gamed the system.
What?
He had bought a whole, I didn't even know you could buy a house with a house? He bought a $350,000 house on the American Express black card. The guy disputed the charge, and Amex, I don't know if it was because it was in Canada, but they had to eat it. All right, let's go live. President Trump holding his first cabinet meeting of his second term.
President Zelensky is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed, and we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. And I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. Really did an amazing job. And that'll be on rare earth and other things. And as you know, we're in for probably $350 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. And that's a big difference. So we're in for probably 3 times as much, and yet it's very important to everybody, but Europe's very close. We have a big ocean separating us, so it's very important for Europe, and they hopefully will step up and do maybe more than they're doing, and maybe a lot more. The previous administration put us in a very bad position, but we've been able to make a deal where we're going to get our money back, and we're going to get a lot of money in the future, and I think that's appropriate because we have taxpayers that shouldn't be footing the bill. And they shouldn't be footing the bill at more than the Europeans are paying. So it's all been worked out. We're happy about it. And I think that very importantly, we're going to be able to make a deal. Most importantly, by far, we're going to make a deal with Russia and Ukraine to stop killing people. They'll stop killing young Russian soldiers and young Ukrainian soldiers and other people in addition in the towns and cities. And we will consider that a very important thing and a big accomplishment because it was going nowhere until this administration came in. They hadn't spoken to President Putin in 2 years. And so we'll keep you advised. Before we begin the cabinet, I'd like to have Scott and a couple of people say a few things, but most importantly, where are you? This is a gentleman who's going places, the head of HUD, and he's going to say, you all know him. And
before we hear from the head of HUD, I've not yet seen Elon Musk at the table. Sitting next to President Trump on his right is Secretary of State Rubio. On his left is Pete Hegseth. I did see Kelly Loeffler heading up the SBA. She is at the far end of the table, but right now I have not seen Elon Musk. Again, this is the first cabinet meeting of President Trump in his second term. He is sitting in the center of the table, as is the norm. And again, to his right is Marco Rubio. To his left is Pete Hegseth. I believe sitting across the table from him is Vice President Vance, but I'm scoping. There's only one angle of the room right now, and I do not see Elon Musk at all. He might be seated somewhere at the far end of the table, but I can't see. He might be standing up behind the cabinet secretaries. But again, we're listening into the first cabinet meeting that President Trump is having in his second term. He gave a quick update on the possibility of that rare earth minerals deal with Ukraine. And maybe a meeting with Zelensky on Friday. All right, they're having a moment of silence, a little prayer. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll rejoin the cabinet meeting. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, Bike Shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
February is Heart Health Month, and there's no better time to take care of your heart. This is Scott Slade. It's the perfect month to call Virtual Imaging and get your free heart scan to help you stay ahead of heart disease before you even know there's a problem. You've been hearing us talk about how Virtual Imaging's free heart scan can save lives. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and any problem with your heart that you can detect early means you have a better chance of living a longer life. Call Virtual Imaging today and get your free heart scan. What are you waiting for? Call 770-678-SCAN. It's quick, painless, and you'll get a clearer picture of your heart's health so you know where you stand. And it's a great way to mark Heart Health Month. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Virtual Imaging now and schedule your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. It's quick, easy, and could save your life. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Because your heart deserves it. If not for yourself, do it for your family.
Got a leaky pipe? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. Heating or cooling issue? We've got a trusted pro for that too. We're not just the helpful hardware folks, we're the helpful home service and repair folks too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, our experts are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Find us at acehardwarehomeservices.com. That's acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
If it's the big story, it's on 2. Channel 2 Action News this morning. I'm Fred Blankenship.
And I'm Lori Wilson. Big stories are always breaking. It may start in the morning, but the impact continues all day.
We're constantly working to bring you fresh information from different perspectives.
This is Developing Live. Our reporters are working to get you all the angles right now.
When it comes to the big story, this is always the place to get ready for your day.
Join us on Channel 2 Action News this morning every day, 4:30 to 7.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer, FGA Roofing. You know, it's not uncommon to see 25-year roofs lasting only a dozen years or so. That's why roof maintenance is so important. Taking care of the things you can't see from the ground that are robbing years of service from your roof. FGA Roofing is now offering a subscription maintenance plan that'll go a long way towards making sure your roof will last as long as it's supposed to. Not only spotting problems when they're small, but professionally cleaning your roof and gutters, securing flashing, adding new pipe collars, and more, including an inspection report so you know exactly what's up there. Most all leaks are covered under your maintenance plan, whether FGA Roofing installed your roof or not. I've paid more to get my gutters cleaned in the past. For roughly what you pay monthly for streaming, you'll be adding years of good-looking service to your roof. And when it's time for a new roof, you're in line for a $1,000 discount as a preferred FGA Roofing maintenance customer. Just mentioned you heard about it from Scott Slade. Just search FGA Roofing to get started.
11:52 on the Mark Aram Show, checking trouble on I-285, live with the latest. Alex Williams.
Yeah, it's a crash heading out of Sandy Springs into Dunwoody, Mark. 285 eastbound, the inner loop just past Ashford-Dunwoody Road, exit 29. In at least one left lane, but it has cooked the ride back to Roswell Road, exit number 25. Just stick with it right now. An alternate would even take longer. Better news out in Lithia Springs. Police activity just wrapped up I-20 westbound before Lee Road, exit 41. So those delays out of Cobb County coming over from Riverside Parkway toward Douglasville will start to improve. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
All right, Elon Musk, I found him. He was not at the adult table with the cabinet heads. He was sitting behind President Trump against the wall. He is now speaking at the first Trump cabinet meeting of his second term.
But we're spending over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing. It is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I'd like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. And I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, you know, knock on my wooden head, there's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings. That would be roughly 15% of the $7 trillion budget.
All right, so that's Elon Musk standing up, addressing the cabinet. The laugh you heard on the wood head comment was from President Trump. I do respect Musk for this. All right, so picture in your mind whatever you think a cabinet meeting would look like, right? So you've got President Trump there in the center, dressed in a suit and tie. Rubio's next to him. Kelly Loeffler dressed up, you know, in the business suit. Musk, I love this because this would be me. He's wearing no tie. He's got a black sports jacket on and a black baseball hat. Is that the first time someone's ever worn a baseball hat in a cabinet meeting? So we're gonna.
That's kind of his uniform, isn't it?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, even President Trump, who loves, you know, the MAGA hat, he wears it on the golf course. He wears it at rallies. Like, he's not wearing a baseball hat in the cabinet meeting, but Musk is like, I do what I do. So anyway, Musk is still addressing the cabinet members there. While we were in commercial break, President Trump talked about egg prices and inflation, things that and the cost of groceries, things that he is going to attack here going forward. I just have an update on the egg price because Easter is just around the corner. I don't have to tell you that, Deborah Green. Americans and restaurants are scrambling as the bird flu outbreak grows and egg prices continue to soar. ABC's Ariel Reshef says some diners starting to consider adding an egg surcharge as shoppers consider whether eggs are worth $10 a dozen.
Demand for eggs even higher. Some business owners tell us they are worried this could get even worse. The Trump administration is expected to unveil its plan to curb the bird flu as soon as this week.
Yeah, we're starting to see releases on that plan to get rid of the bird flu. Of course, I cannot find the story now. Here it is. So the U.S. Department of Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins outlining a new strategy to mitigate the spread of bird flu and lower the prices of eggs, a signature issue of the 2024 election. But she warned that prices won't go down until the summer. Rollins outlined the 5-part strategy, which includes enhancing biosecurity measures, accelerating poultry repopulation, deregulating initiatives, increasing egg imports, and investing in vaccine research. She said the USDA will invest $1 billion in the new plan, which will be paid for at least in part by the Department of Government Efficiency cuts, the DOGE cuts. So eggs, top of mind of everybody. Musk still addressing the cabinet. We'll see how long that goes. We do not have time for a fact of the day today, Blue, so let's go straight to stars of the show. On the Mark Arum Show. So many stars of the show today. Exciting, dramatic buildup of the stars of the show today.
And now, are you ready for the star of the show?
There we go.
And now, are you
Blue
guys
is not
ready
getting
for
star
the
of
Mark
the show.
Arum
Sorry,
star
buddy.
of the show?
Deborah Green, welcome back. Thanks as always. We missed you the first 2 days, but I gave myself star of the show yesterday because I kept the train on the tracks for the last 2 days. So, but you get one for your
Good job.
Your return after 2 much deserved days off. Karen Travers, White House correspondent for ABC, joined us. She gets a star of the show. John Decker previewed the first cabinet meeting. Musk is still speaking, by the way. I wonder if there's they have playoff music for him. You know, if he starts talking too long, if there's music like the Oscars, if they start playing him off, he is still speaking. John Decker gets a star of the show. Allison Keyes from CBS joined us live with a big budget win for President Trump and for Speaker Mike Johnson. Laura Davidson joined us from Bloomberg News with we know who the top administrator is in DOGE. She gets a star of the show. Stephen Portnoy on the White House press corps. And Vinny Bag of Donuts gets a star of the show. Brianna, good job filling in. And can I get some sort of music here? Yeah, thank you. I was getting hoarse. And Longoria showed up for his for 30 minutes just to make sure we were running before he went and celebrated the next star of the show's 12th birthday, Lily Lark Longoria. Happy 12th birthday, Lily. Good luck this weekend. And Chinwei gave me went upstairs to the third floor, got me a plate of TV Sweeps food for breakfast. So Chinwei gets the star of the show. All right, nice. Man. Yeah, exactly. There's so much going on news-wise. Erickson's got you covered noon to 3. The news team's going to be all over it. We'll, of course, be all over developments tomorrow. Social medias, for me, will be active throughout the day. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.